Submit. There. Hi. All right. Great intro. Well done. Thank you. How's the rib? Honestly, a lot better today. It does not hurt to breathe anymore. It hurts to move, but breathing doesn't hurt much. How was the poop? Good. Good, thank you. Your door is ajar? Well, it's open. I usually just do this. Boom, I just cut it from existence. Anonymous eating sunshine with a sub. We are going to be doing an interview with Vudio soon. I'm excited. We're going to try to learn as much as we can to how to approach the race. Adrenaline for the 70 months, 71, and Pokium, thank you.
Subscribed for 71 months. Pokium just resubscribed for 31 months. Ayaz just resubscribed for 48 months, 4 years.
I love Minecraft, yeah. Yeah, we're just gonna chill a bit. As soon as I can, guys, I will fire off another set of ads so that we'll have 2 hours of no ads. Yeah, it'll be on my YouTube. And to be fair, yeah, you're right. There were
just resubscribed for 85
there were some people that were saying that, but like, there's no reason for us to one guy ourselves.
You have done so much for me.
Thank you, Wahoo.
So I want to say thank you for that. I
85 months, dude. Some of that back you have. You always bring a joy, dude. You always bring a joy. Yeah, no, I don't know. Like, there's just no need to like one guy myself. Like, it was only I've only seen like 3 people that were like upset about it, and one of them apologized. Thank you for gifting Ultimate with a sub. How long do you think it'll take the first 1,000 players? It's very hard to say. It's very hard to say. He's everywhere. Who? Anonymous? Yeah, it's just very hard to say. One guy for a while? Oh, there were just a few people that I was a hypocrite for preparing for the race. Because I said I didn't like that content creators had early access and were able to practice. And then people said I was a hypocrite for preparing for the race. They think I should go in blind. But obviously I want to win, so. Nice take? Yeah, I mean, it was like, it's so few people. It's not really worth getting upset about. What race? For first 100 in Diablo 4. How are you prepping? So we've been going through all the information that's released by other people. Wolf. We're most likely doing 2 sorks. First 1K? Yeah, but we want to be the first. Well, okay, so I don't specifically care about me being first, but I want somebody from our group to be the first. So most likely Karn. Little ass. No way, dude. Who's in your group? Karn, Steel, and Noogie. The reason it's more likely that Karn gets it is that none of us can go as long as Karn. Yeah, me and Steel were looking. It was funny. So Steel was like, "Have you looked at Sork at all or done anything?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "Can you do it while I watch to see if I can learn anything from you?" Because like, what ends up happening a lot when people do it is they end up doing the same things as other people. And I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna put this here," and he was like, "Really? Wow, I have not seen anyone else do that." They put I don't understand why nobody else has done this. This seems like the most obvious choice to have that armor on Amulet on Hardcore. So that it gets the bonus. Because armor is super OP. Like, this seems to be the best choice by far. I don't know why other people weren't doing it. But I guess most people are going for softcore. Well, you have a group name at the end of your character names. Maybe. Damage is king. Yeah, exactly. The DPS slot, so most people go for DPS by default. Yeah, I don't think damage is going to be the problem. Are you going to use cheat death potion? Yeah. So the way I talk about the race is, in my opinion, the race should be group found or self found. But since it's not, you should do everything to win, which means you guys can help us. Like, you guys can literally help us win the race, which I think is bad, but obviously we're going to do anything to win. Yeah, our group will have 2 Sorks. How? Oh, you can farm elixirs for other people. I can simp for my streamer? Yeah, that's why I hate it. That's why I hate it. That's why group fun is so much better, because then everybody is racing on their own merits. Doesn't matter how popular or non-popular you are. We can do the boss, then invite and turn in. No, I don't know what we can get from other people. I think it's just elixirs. I actually, like, I don't know why, but I didn't test that in the 25 beta. Does anyone know what people can help us with? Rares and gold? Oh, huge. It's not cheating if it's not against the rules. No, I don't think anyone is saying it's cheating, but I think it's lame as fuck. Like, how much better would the race be if everybody was locked to their group, right? How good would that be? That would be so fucking cool. Terrible? No, just for the race. That's unethical. You break the rules of the RP Bible. I agree. We play non-stop until 100. So I can't go past 40 hours, but Karn can. I honestly wish it was solo. I haven't been able to play with a group for so long. I wish that there was a SSF and a group fun. That would be my favorite. Do you see this as let's say a pure gaming honor goal, or is it just a huge stream attendance and brand value, so 2 would win and therefore too valuable not to try? The latter, yeah. It's like, at the end of the day, nobody cares, like, oh yeah, they won, but this person technically won. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think there was some drama. I think there was some drama about that, about the recent WoW race, right? Like, people were saying, well, like, yeah, NA won, but EU did it in less hours or something. Like, nobody cares about that. People only care about who wins. Like, a win is a win. That's why I prefer when the race is SSF. Like, in my opinion, that's so much better. But like, I will, like, if I'm going for a win, I'm going for a win at all, like, anything it takes, right? Within not cheating. Within reason. It's crazy they didn't plan for this. Oh, thanks, Maniki. Hi, Hen. EU cares because they are serious to winning. It's not technically a race. 1,000 people is a participation award or marketing. Yeah, 1,000 people is quite a lot. Who's the most fierce competition? Honestly, I don't even fully know. Like, obviously, like, the Ben group is going to be pretty big too. The streamers are making a race for clout. Yeah, but I mean, it's always exciting, right? I'm not sure, Clouded. Like one treat. Are the rapes better today? The event will be over by the time the early 3 days are over, no? Yeah. It will. I'm going to see if I can play more ads, chat. The reason I'm doing that is I'm trying to avoid having ads in the middle of the podcast. Noogie, thank you for the raid, dude.
Rated my stream with 453 Thanks. Viewers.
Thank you. Wins. Unless people die in hardcore, true. Podcast starts soon, yes sir. Streamers do everything they can for clout unless they simply don't care about growing, which is fine too. Yeah. Some people do too much. Yeah, I've already downloaded it. How close is the streamer community in hardcore? Pretty small, right? In PoE, it's very close. I'm not super familiar with the Diablo 3 community. First person to die in the group? Hopefully no one. We're gonna try very hard not to die. I don't know if the damage scales. We have a lot of questions to ask. Are you making a guild and are there conditions to join? We'll probably make a guild. I don't know if is there a max size or can anyone join? If so, we can maybe have like a joint guild for all 4 of us Belfast streamers. Our group conversation on Discord is called Belfast Cult. Max is 150. Maybe, is there a benefit to us being in the same guild? Like, I don't know. It'll probably either be that we have a joint guild for the start for the race, and then later make our own streamer guilds or something. I don't know what we'll do. That's something we've talked about. I haven't even thought about it. Will video compete for first 100? Yeah. It's pretty cool that he's like helping us teach stuff. Well, we're getting that at ExcelCon. That's why they're doing ExcelCon. They're only active like 30 minutes. I don't know how to get cheat elixirs. We'll ask video that. Video solo though, group plays broken. Video is a group, okay? Have you seen that guy play? He is a group. He's basically 4 people in a trench coat. Right. I think the ads are over. Hardcore range to the start when everyone has access, not just the ones who could afford it. I completely agree. No spoilerinos, please, sir. Lilith was Mephisto all along. Spoiler. Dude, imagine. Is Max Roll a viable tier list? I don't know. I have no idea. Yo, I am so excited for, by the way, my prediction for who the, you know, the dog that everyone's like, oh, who's the dog? I think it's us. That would be the coolest. Yeah, like I think it's us from D3. That would be way cooler than any other answer. Keep the dog away from Quinn. The bloody wolf. The dog is Mephisto. I think that's the most likely. I think it's cooler if it's us. Right, I'm gonna start the call and start setting up.
Hello.
Hello.
Yo. Can you hear me?
No.
Okay.
Hello.
Uh-huh. Oh, hello guys.
Hello.
Oh shit.
1 second. Is that working? Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hello.
Hi.
Okay.
Hello.
Let's see.
What's
Video, could you instantly screen share just so I can set up all the frames with that?
Sure, I can just turn on screen share.
Yeah, just like screen whatever screen you want to do.
Well, let's go to this is my desktop right now. So that works.
Perfect.
Okay. Well, how's everyone doing?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, great. I'm just like very stressed because last minute like guide writing and videos and all that stuff. It's going pretty crazy right now. But other than that, I'm good.
Yeah, bet.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I'm glad to see that there's so much interest as well from the PoE blasters. I gotta say, so kind of cool that you reached out and like we can sit down. I think it's quite exciting to see some of you guys being on D4.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
who's the main like D3 racers? Like who do you think from like of the ones you already know that are going to be the most competition?
Well,
he wants to
I
know who
mean-
you're gonna beat, basically.
yeah. Well, I mean, of course,
can
like
say
I was
yourself.
also going
It's
to
okay.
try to race, and of course now with the early access, it's like not really so like the same thing. But of course, I'm gonna try to go fast and want to be the first anyway. So just because that's what I do. So, yeah, that's basically me. I guess like there's gonna be like a bunch of Maxwell guys. You have seen the guides, I guess, or the website, and most of them are also big blasters. From D2, from D3, and they're gonna race for sure. Like on softcore though, mostly I think. So on hardcore, I'm not really so sure if there's really gonna be like the big names really popping off. I don't think so actually. There's like barely anyone that I know will go hardcore.
Right.
So we'll see.
Nice. I'm just setting up the frames here. So much to do.
Yeah, I'm
So
tempted to
how
Oh, go
prepared are you guys? By the way, I've seen Steel in the beta. We killed Ashawa together. It was funny. But I mean, like, have you guys also been like prepping hard and all that? Like, how's your plans in general?
Yeah. I mean, we couldn't play, but I spent a lot of time just checking what would be the build. But all paths led to one singular build. So
Yeah, I'm not too prepared. I'm just like me and Steel are most likely both playing Stork, so I'm just gonna look at what he's doing and just blast.
Was I doing homework for 2 people? Is that what you
Yeah,
said?
exactly.
Mhm.
And like nobody's like I don't even have to change anything. I can literally just steal it. Be beautiful. No plagiarism.
I'm so sad. I was so sad what they did to Thorns, man. Like, why did you do that? That was really sad. I want to play Thorns. What they did to Thorns, I was really sad.
You have to play phones, or what? What?
No. What they did to Thorns was really sad.
Oh,
No,
what
no,
they
no,
did.
no, you
Oh.
can't. Yeah, no, you can't.
Well, I mean,
But,
there is a unique for Thorns, and I think the
Yeah,
Thorns can
but-
still work on Barb. I mean, they nerfed it really hard in the early game because everyone is using Thorns.
No, I think the game is still fine actually. I
Yeah.
think it's just like in mid game, maybe that game is gonna be kind of because there's I checked, there's like nothing. There's no glyphs, no paragons, nothing. There's like absolutely nothing that helps you
Yeah,
scale
that
Thorns.
is true. I mean, you just have like generic damage bonuses that you can try to scale with
Yeah,
Thorns.
exactly.
I actually did
Yeah.
try it on my Rogue. I'm not sure if I have like the clip now somewhere in my recordings. I actually did try some Thorns Rogue, just for the memes, and
Thorns Rogue, wow.
I found this unique chest. It has like I don't know, like a few thousand thorns or something. So it's like a big chunk, and monsters were actually dying. They were hitting me and they were dying like at level 70, like in like 1 or 2 shots. So I guess
Yeah.
there's definitely some potential for it, but you need like that unique and you need to like build around it, and maybe it's kind of okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like without the unique, I don't think there's any chance. It's playable.
Yeah, I mean, are you a Thorns enjoyer or what?
Yeah, I mean, I played Thorns. Like I remember when the first betas, I was trying like leveling. Like leveling on bar was like complete misery, right? Like early game, and I tried to find a solution to it, and the solution was Thorns, right? It was Thorns and bleed. Like it just made sense. So like, because like you found yourself just auto attacking monsters one by one, right? Just to build fury, and you're getting pounded this entire time. So I was like,
yeah,
maybe Thorns is the solution, and Thorns was the solution. But
Yeah,
now,
for Barb it was huge.
yeah, like Thorns is really really good. The beta. I think it's still fine though for leveling. I'm probably still gonna be Thorns for leveling. I think it's the best way to do it.
You sure? If we're grouping, if you're solo, I would agree.
I mean,
But for
because
grouping,
the
it
thing is,
seems
like-
very scuffed.
No, but the thing with Thorns, like I think it's just a tool. It's not a build. You're not just okay. I'm only doing Thorns. It's just a tool that you have on top of everything else. So like you play like anything. You can play Hora, you can play Rand, and then you have Thorns on top of it just to supplement clear. So I think since I'm gonna be playing Rand, I'm gonna have the most single target that I can have anyway. So
Nice. Okay, I think I've set everything up now.
good. So yeah, you see the screen, everything's working. All right.
Yeah, let me do a test. I'm gonna switch to your screen share.
Dude, your chat's calling me a shell because I took a sponsorship.
Which one?
Fuck.
Holy. NVIDIA, for NVIDIA.
Wait, really? That's so cool. What is it?
Yeah. They give it's to do with Diablo. There's like a promotion for the new DLSS or something. I need to like read it a little bit more, but I saw Begier doing it as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Congrats. I'm proud of you.
Hog.
Yeah, nice. What does that have to do with shilling? I mean, it's just like
Steel hates
sponsorship.
money. Steel like is anti-sponsorship. He's so bad at
Money's
it.
evil. Yeah, money's evil.
Very frustrating to deal with Steel. Right. I think we can actually start. Steel's community has loads of questions prepped. They're ready to go. I just woke up, so I'm not as ready.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll do like a quick like intro, and then we can just start, just so I have something for YouTube. Actually, we'll do a mic check first. Karn, audio volume.
hello, this is me.
Karn,
Zone.
good. I'll have Vero give a thumbs up to everything.
Sorry, did you talk to me?
Not yet.
Okay.
Karn's a little low. Okay. I turn Karn up. Try talking again, Karn.
Bone zone.
Okay, I'm here.
I actually turned down Khan like massively.
Steel?
Nice. You're not the only one.
Cock. 1, 2, 3. Cock. Yep.
Turning you up 30%. Talk again.
Hi chat. How are you today? How are you, chat?
Good now. Okay. Video?
Yes, I'm here. And test 1, 2, 3.
How's that chat? Low? Okay. Up 30%. Try talking again.
Yeah, now again.
Good.
Yeah, by the way, the name is Woody Joe.
Woody
It's not
Joe.
Woody
Okay.
O.
Sorry.
Yeah. All good.
Woody Joe. Okay, cool. I'm terrible with names. Noogie?
Yes. What's up?
How's this volume, guys?
Hello.
Okay, Noogie's just good. All right. Let's do it. I'm going to
Perfect.
start recording. Hi, Zizaran here, and today we are going to interview Woody Joe, and I'm joined by 4 of my friends, and these are going to be, this is our group for the upcoming Diablo 4 race. We're going to try to get first level 100, and Woody has said that he will help give us answers to questions we have for the race. So this is just going to be us like interviewing. Yeah, and that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do.
Yes, hello.
Thank you so much for joining us, Woody.
Yo.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Like, it's a really cool opportunity to just like hang out with you guys, and of course, I'm very happy that people are coming to Hardcore Blast in D4. So I'm gonna be there on Hardcore myself, and I'm very much looking forward to the launch, of course. And now after playing the game, maybe I can share you like a few tips that will help you. So let's see.
Yeah. I wonder how many people do you think are like how many people are you expecting will be competition in the race?
I mean, the price that Blizzard has teased is definitely pretty cool, I think, with the statue. I think that definitely entices a lot of people to try hardcore right on the start when they otherwise wouldn't. So it's obviously like a pretty prestigious like goal or prize to have, right? So I think that's pretty cool. And how many? I mean, I did a poll on my chat the other day, and 13% said they will play hardcore on launch, which actually I found pretty high.
Very high.
So maybe my chat is a bit more hardcore than the general public, I guess.
Yeah.
But I can definitely imagine there's going to be a lot of people, like
awesome.
Maybe 5 to 10%.
Yeah, no, that's higher than I thought. That's awesome. Before we get into it, can you give like a quick intro of yourself for people that aren't familiar with the content already? Talk a little bit about your racing and stuff like that.
Yeah, sure. So hello guys, I'm Woody Joe, and I've been mostly blasting Diablo 3 for like the past decade. I have a YouTube channel, Twitch channel, etc. I have been producing guides basically since season 1 and trying to rank 1 on the leaderboards almost every single season. I've always been trying to push every single build to the maximum. So that's kind of the stuff I do. And I also have played tons of hardcore, both in vanilla, D3, and in Diablo 2 even, like back in the when I was way younger. And of course, in recent times in D3, in PoE as well. Actually, I also do play PoE. I have like 3,500 hours or so in PoE. So I'm a bow enjoyer in general, in all games. So that's usually the stuff I do. And now in Diablo 4, I've been prepping for this game ever since the announcement, like 3 years ago. I've been very hyped ever since I saw it for the first time, and basically been soaking up all the information I can, and playing it as much as I could when I had the access, and making guides and all that good stuff. So I'm very prepared for this launch, let's say.
How many hours did you get to try? Do you think the full early access stuff?
I played it for like 50, 60 hours or so. So it was like around 10 days after access, and I had other stuff to do, but I tried to play as much as I could, basically.
Well, what level did you get to?
I reached up to 80.
Nice. I think maybe I'll throw you to Steel. Steel's they actually got to link the sheet. Steel's community has so many great questions, so we'll start with some of those, I think.
All right. Well, first question. This is not on the list as is.
Oh no!
Why did you put Rogue ahead of Sork? What's up with that?
Oh, I guess you're referring to my class tier list. Well, first of all, I'm a Rogue enjoyer. I know that you're asking this question because you're a Sork enjoyer. I just think that Rogue in general is like a pretty solid like mid-range class, and I mean so is Sork. I talked about it in my video that I have them like ranked as 3 and 4 kind of, but they are kind of like on an equal level, like close to each other, I would say. So it's like hard to predict really like which build in the end will like perform at an exact level. Like we don't really have benchmarks, so to say, like exact benchmarks of like how many hours does it reach to level 100 or something, right? So it was just mostly based on gut feeling. So I would also give Sork maybe the number 3 and Rogue the number 4. It doesn't matter too much.
That's what I like to hear. Yep. I'm just messing with you, but I had to, right? So I asked my chat a bunch of questions because obviously I didn't want to just be the only one. Like I didn't want to have bias my questions too much. I mean, it is going to be biased a little bit, but I wanted to give my chat opportunity to ask you a bunch of questions, and they delivered. There's like a million questions here. Right off the bat, though, we'll go with some group stuff because we haven't heard a lot about that. I feel like as much. Because obviously most people do play the game solo, but given that we are party play and there's less information out there, my chat was curious about like supports, for example. Like, do you think supports will be a thing in D4? Like, what kind of support builds have you heard of from the press release? That kind of stuff.
I absolutely think that supports will be a thing at the very least for like organized teams. So I guess that includes you. You probably want to think about having at least 1 or 2 supports, I think, or at the very least late game. I think they're going to be very strong once they're like optimized and once they have like really strong like specialized damage dealers in your party. I think that the support or 2 can definitely make a difference. Personally, I have not really tried to make support. I just been like messing around with some group play here and there, but for the most part, I was solo progressing. And we do have theory crafted, like really powerful, like support druid and support barb. So at least the druid, I have a link to share if you need to. But for the barb, it's basically like the shouts in general are just super powerful, and they buff everyone with like lots of damage reduction and damage and everything you want, basically. So I think those two classes in particular can be quite an asset.
Just off the back of that as well, do you think there's any end-game content where it would make sense to be in a group, like world bosses, or maybe pushing the highest tier nightmare sigils?
Yeah, nightmare sigils are definitely like the hardest content. So by far, I think. Like if you want to push to 100, I think that's going to be by far the hardest thing you can do. Like world bosses, honestly, they are kind of a joke right now. So I wouldn't be surprised to see like a massive buff to world bosses at some point. Like if you are traumatized from Ashava in the beta or something, this is absolutely like reversed from like in the higher world tiers. Like I was destroying those bosses solo in like 2-3 minutes or something.
Oh no!
So it was kind of a joke.
That's disappointing a little bit.
Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully,
I mean, might depend on the build. I mean, I had a relatively strong single target setup, so it might not be as easy on any build, but
actually,
yeah, it wasn't really that hard, I feel.
Do you think it will get harder with more people, actually? Like, because I mean, maybe the bosses are easier solo or with less players than with like a party of 20 random people.
Well, I did actually some research on that. So from the server slam, when we had the Ashava kills, I actually looked at my footage and I looked at my different Ashava kills and the kill times that it took. And I did have my solo kill and I had some other kills, so other people were present. And it was always strictly faster when other people were there, even though I was probably like by far the strongest guy present. So it seems like it did actually not scale. Like the world bosses, at least, they do not scale, I think.
Yeah.
So in dungeons, that's different. Dungeons actually do scale. So this is where, you know, stuff gets hard, and also especially if you want to do like a, you know, like a team run to like tier 100 or something. Yeah, like the dungeons do scale up. That's what we know. But I don't know exactly how much.
It's still more beneficial to be in a group than solo?
I mean, group play in general is really OP. Yes, I actually wanted to release like a full video on like, you know, all the little tricks and all the exploits you can do, which I unfortunately have not done yet.
Right.
But in general, yeah, you can do some crazy shenanigans.
Yeah, but actually, I was wondering.
Oh, go ahead.
Like, let's say you have like a very fast build that can clear dungeons so like very fast. Is it gonna be still better to be in group just because of the? I'm assuming the XP bonus is not that important. That when you're like Watcher 4.
Yeah, it's the XP bonus in party is actually relatively insignificant. So I was a bit worried about this, but I've learned through the testing that the XP bonus is actually additive with other XP bonuses, including from the difficulty. So later on tournament, you get plus 200% XP, and then the 10% from party bonus is kind of whatever. And it's like, you know, you have to have 210 instead of 200 bonus, basically, then.
Yeah, so it doesn't do anything.
It doesn't do that much, but the strength of party it comes from other sources.
Yeah, because
so
you
like
get more sigils, right?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you have the sigils, first of all. You have, in general, you have like a group composition, I guess, that, you know, kind of makes sense, hopefully. So this is number one. Just like we are more powerful because of supports, or because you have like, you know, one AoE guy, one single target guy, or something like that. As long as you move together as a team, you can like rotate, like, you know, CCs and damage reduction cooldowns and just like, you know, YOLO basically. So there are definitely these kind of things. Then of course it's like the exploration and the renown and the dungeon grind. You can actually like spread out and, you know, go to different zones, get all the waypoints, you know, share them to each other. So these are these kind of like indirect group perks that exist that really help speeding it up for the groups.
Okay.
And one important thing actually is what we learned. It's probably a major bug, but this is how it works, and it actually did work this way apparently, even in like the open beta and stuff. So it wasn't changed. But for example, you can complete dungeons in a split farm group, basically. Like you can go into different dungeons and you can complete everyone completes one dungeon on their own, and it counts for the entire party. It's actually crazy.
Wait, you don't even need to be in there?
No, you don't need to be in there. You can be in another dungeon. You just get a completion. Like, yeah, it seems like a major bug, but this is how it works. So,
wait, what?
So you even get the codexes? You get the codexes too?
You get the codex, yeah. You get the renown, you get the codex. So.
Wow.
Wait, what?
Okay,
Walk me through that again. I don't think that really registered on me.
Yeah,
Okay, you make a party, you go to 4 different dungeons. Like everyone goes to their own, and they all complete for everyone when you finish them.
Well, this changes things.
Yeah, it changes a lot of things. Because I was actually thinking maybe it would be beneficial to like just maybe you do solo nightmare dungeons and then 2 level glyphs and then you just share. You know, like maybe one completes first and then everybody goes there, maybe gets the XP. I don't know if it works this way, for example, but
yeah, I think in Nightmare Dungeons later I can also do some shenanigans, like kind of like leeching the completion for the glyph XP and stuff. So, for example, you can have one guy kind of like, chill outside and come in later to just like, finish the boss and you get your glyph upgrade. That also works, I believe. So you can do that kind of stuff too.
Oh,
okay.
That's crazy. Me and Steele yesterday were talking about, I don't know if you know the answer to this, but there was something about the, maybe you can explain it better, Steele, but the frozen thing, like if me freezing,
right.
Yeah,
I think I already asked my chat, and I think they said it does work. But obviously, we know the fireball enchant works for other party members. If they kill, it will also explode because it cancels you killing it. I assume this also means that Ziz, using the Ice Shards enchant, if he uses his frozen orb, Frost Nova, will make my Ice Shards fly to him. Because I'm looking at playing the Ice Shard Sork, and if then obviously Ziz will just run Frost Nova just for utility. So maybe he can sort of like chain the Ice Shard.
That should work, I think. Like, I mean, I have not tested this interaction specifically, but the Ice Shard enchant says that it just like shoots at nearby frozen enemies. It doesn't really seem to make a difference where the frozen is coming from. But of course, these kind of interactions always have to be like, verified one by one, I guess. So I can't give like a general statement. Yeah. But it seems like generally almost everything just works in party play. Like, the fireball enchant, like life on kill even, I believe, and all that good stuff. Like you just get it basically, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, I was kind of worried about this for like stuff like disembowel. Like if you get CDR on kill, stuff like that. I'm assuming it works like if anybody gets a kill, right?
Yeah, I think it works. Like you can literally just like as a support or something, you just like socket a skull in your weapon, you get like life on kill, easy peasy. Like, yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it works.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Do you want to ask your questions, Ziz?
No. I'm mostly focusing on just letting you guys speak, and because there's 5 of us.
Yeah. Just yell at me, Noogie or Khan, if you want to chime in, because I have the list of questions, obviously. I know with our group we were debating or not on running Rogue, and it's hard to tell. And just off the beta, we were kind of thinking it was like less tanky, like it was maybe a bit sketch for hardcore. So I guess just as a generic question, how's the class viability in softcore and hardcore? I guess more so hardcore specifically. And like, do you think? I mean, I know you're playing Rogue in hardcore on the launch. Like, so do you think it won't have problems like surviving?
I mean, it depends on like what exactly you're trying to do. It definitely felt like Rogue was tankier than I expected, I would say, in terms of like overall survivability. But like the points that I also made in my class video, like my tier list video, also holds true. Like Rogue is generally on the squishier side if you like don't have your defenses up, if you don't have your Dark Shroud up, if you don't CC enemies. You have to play around these kind of things to survive. This is just how Rogue works. So even though you can try to build a tanky, it's not like a bot that just runs in with challenging shout and you're chilling. So you have to play around stuff. So in general, it works, but of course, it's just a bit harder, I guess, on a hardcore Rogue than on, like, let's say, a Barb, I'd say. Just because of how the defensive mechanics work per class.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess just off the back of that again, just in general, like a hardcore discussion, because I'm not sure if you got to play or anyone who played hardcore in the press release, but do you know if there's still instantaneous logout or if the devs have indicated if there's instantaneous logout, and how common are the cheat death elixirs, how rippy are some of the mobs in the rest of the game? Like, you don't necessarily have to spoil anything, but do you think there's going to be any like gotcha moments, like things like that?
I gotta say that hardcore generally feels like quite fair, I would say, in terms of like the difficulty feels like fair. Like when you go to higher levels and stuff, it kind of like scales up with you and it gets like slowly harder. But if you die, it's usually to your own mistake, at least on what I can tell. So in terms of hardcore specific stuff like the elixir, the elixir seems relatively cheap. There's like only one component that you need to farm that is like relatively hard to get, which is the crushed beast bones. They don't drop that much, but you will be able to have the elixirs, like whenever you need them, kind of. Like you're gonna save up these mats over time, and late game when you actually start doing maybe like higher tier nightmare dungeons, or you start doing like some the pinnacle boss or something like that. I guess you can definitely chuck those elixirs. And you will have them ready for that, basically, like just like save them up, basically.
So
interesting.
I really want to ask. I've seen a lot of the different videos and the guy pushing to level 100 and stuff, and it seems like he wasn't pushing to level 100 in the hardest content, right? So to put it in PoE terms, if the hardest content is tier 16 maps, when you're pushing to to level 100, what percentage difficulty are you in? Is it like tier 11s, tier 13s, like that kind of thing?
I mean, I didn't do 100.
Yeah.
Because, 100 will be realistically almost undoable for almost everyone. So I expect tier 100, even on like a fully min-max super OP build, to be extremely difficult. Mostly because of the lack of survivability. So you have only limited revives. Or in hardcore, you have only one chance. So stuff really starts hurting on the higher levels. And Rob, who has cleared it, he's a big blaster. I've actually played with him a lot in the past. He's like one of the biggest Diablo blasters ever, so to say. Mm-hmm. He knows what the hell he's doing, and was playing the best build in the game that is also completely busted through its unique. So, this is kind of like to put it in perspective. Like a tier 100 is nothing that almost everyone here will ever clear, probably. At least not anytime soon, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Rob's video, it didn't look like his character was ready to do it in hardcore, for example. He was getting blasted left, right, and center. So
yeah, exactly. Like even with like all the defense available, it's gonna be really, really tough to survive in those hundreds. I think. Like I even had trouble. Like I tried like a 60 or something on level 80. Of course, I was under level still. There was still a lot of power to gain and not super optimized. But even on tier 60, I was getting wrecked on my little 80 rogue. So.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. What kind of level do you think we will be doing?
Well, okay, the general farming is kind of like... The general farming is expected to be your character's level minus 50, so to say. So, for example, for level 80 character, you are expected to do something like tier 30. And then for level 100, you're expected to do something like tier 50. So this is going to be probably kind of like the T16 mapping, let's say, in PoE terms. And then, there come another 50 tiers, basically.
Right, so it's basically Delirium.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, you can probably compare it best to Delirium. Like, like if you do like a tier 60 map is like the regular farming, and then you have like the 100% Delirium, it probably goes more in that direction, I would say.
Okay. And how often do you think there's going to be like things like on death effects, etc., that'll like really catch you out and you'll only recognize it after having died to it once?
Not really. I think that generally like this stuff is like very well telegraphed, and it's also like usually quite delayed. So you have like the elite affixes, like the molten and the poison enchant or whatever. So they have like some affixes, or I'm not sure. Are you sharing the screen right now? So I have it on my screen right now, actually.
Yep.
Yeah, and turn it on, and I can show you right now, actually, because the footage that's running right now, I just have like B-roll basically, and this is actually a nightmare dungeon that has an on-death effect, which is called Death Pulse. So you kill an enemy and then they explode afterwards. So this applies to all enemies in this dungeon. You can see those explosions. So they actually really hurt if you stand in them, especially in like a big pack. So you have to defeat the pack and run away immediately. But outside of that, I haven't really noticed like, monsters that just like, casually explode and one-shot you or something like that.
Yeah.
So there's these spider hosts. Okay, they pop as well. So, but you know them, right? You fight them a few times and you know the monsters. And there's nothing really that's what I would say like really caught me off guard, so to say.
Nice. How many times do you think you died in your testing?
Oh, quite a lot actually. But I was also trying a lot of stuff. So I was like on purpose. I was like trying the pinnacle boss, for example. I was trying to push really high on nightmare dungeons. So if you don't do that, if you don't like go out of your way to do like something extraordinarily difficult, I did die rarely. So in like general farming, like outdoor content, like never basically. And then dungeons, like nightmare dungeons, okay, it can happen that you get like comboed from like 3 elites or something. So that can happen if you're not careful.
Do you think it's easier to survive in a group?
Probably. I'm not sure if monsters actually get more damage in groups, if they just get more HP or something. I have not really done testing on that. But generally, if there's any kind of monster damage scaling, it's probably like lower than the general like health or like EHP increase that you're gonna have from the buffs. So I think it's gonna be easier to survive in groups.
All right. Awesome.
Is there damage scaling on the tiers, like on the torment? Like there is XP. Like maybe it works the same way. Like if it goes up by 200% torment, and then you have the group buff.
What do you mean exactly?
Like if it works the same way as XP would with additive extra damage, if it applies. Like is there a global buff to the torment?
I mean, the monsters just scale higher in general. I'm not really sure if they get like another multiplier on torment or if it's just like the higher monster level. But basically, the monsters are like, it's like a level range. So, Nightmare is like 50 to 70, and then torment is 70 plus. So this is just how it goes.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard like part of the reason why higher tiers are so dangerous is the monster level difference because of how that interacts with the armor calculation, right?
Yeah, exactly. You get like a penalty when you're underleveled. We're not really sure about the exact formula, but it seems like that the more you're underleveled, the crazier it gets. And this is also why this tier 109 dungeon with like level 154 monsters is going to be really ridiculous because you're underleveled by 54 levels and you can have an insane penalty. So, even if you have like a really tanky character, they get like burned right through your armor and you basically do no damage to them. So there's like a penalty in both directions, both your damage and your survivability.
And
did you do any testing with armor versus health stacking, like at later tiers?
Yeah, maximum life is really good. I can recommend.
Right. So maybe that becomes better over armor when the levels go up.
I guess generally you still want to stack armor and then just try to like scale it really high if you can. I'm not really sure if like how effective it is. It's like really hard to test this stuff in like little time.
Yeah.
But generally, at least when you have like there's like one aspect called disobedience. You might know it. It gives you like a stacking armor buff. Which is what I used on my rogue for the most part as well, because I was using a dot build, and with dots it stacks up really fast. So this is like one way to get a lot of armor, and this is probably a way to have enough armor against these high level monsters, basically, because I was overcapping on monsters of my level.
Oh.
So yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, I'm just saying that at least if you have this aspect and you have like a dot build or anything that hits like many times, you need, like the way this aspect works, you have to hit a lot. So you have to either produce like 10, 20 hits per second, or mostly through dots. So this is definitely a way to get a lot of armor though, and can help you with survivability. And then maximum life rolls, I tried to put them on my gear, and I had like some high level items. I had like over 1,000 maximum life on like a ring, and then on the chest piece and stuff. And just like 2-3 items actually gave me like plus 50, plus 80% EHP or so. So this was pretty impactful.
Nice.
How about resistances? Because resistances, I think in this game they work. It's multiplicative. It's not additive, right?
Yes, exactly. Resistance are multiplicative, and they're generally really awful.
Yeah,
so
they're
really bad.
Very good.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, if you want to like specialize against like a certain like elemental type, for example, like you're fighting a hypothetical uber boss that does not exist yet, I guess, that would have like only lightning damage and you can stack lightning res. In that case, it would be pretty good to have resistances, but generally resistances are actually not really a good stat. Like there are other damage reduction stats that are just like more impactful.
Makes sense. I've heard a lot about this pinnacle boss. Some people are saying nobody killed it. Other people are saying people were killing it in 10 seconds. What's the deal?
I absolutely believe the people that say 10 seconds. I did not kill it, so I tried it for like an hour or something like that. I did actually progress pretty far, but I was still underleveled as hell, so it was pretty tough. But yeah, someone like Rob clearing a tier 109 dungeon, he absolutely killed that pinnacle boss.
Right.
Like there's no question, I think.
Okay. All right. Phil, do you have more questions you want to ask?
Plenty. So, so obviously we touched on it a bit earlier with the elixir, but just in general, how do you think like how much do you have to gather resources? Like, do you have to like not do a nightmare sigil because you've ran out of a certain elixir or incense or anything like that? And furthermore, as a follow-up to that, can you just get someone else to do it? Like, can you just get someone else to farm? What's the deal with that?
Okay, so number one, I mean, you get elixirs on the way. Like if you do some side quests, sometimes they reward you with elixirs. Sometimes there's also like a rare chance of like elixirs just dropping from an elite, I noticed. It's just random elixirs. And I mean, you want to do the renown grind early in your progression at some point, like after campaign or so. You do the renown stuff. You're going to do a lot of outdoor stuff probably. You're just going to pick up some herbs here and there and stuff that you find. So I never really had trouble with like running out of elixirs. I had like so many elixirs that I just gathered from quests and from drops. They were not really the right ones, but at least I had something to pop all the time. So if you want to have like a specific elixir, you know, like the perfect one for your build, you know, the lucky hit elixir for your Sorg, or, you know, crit elixir for your rogue or something, those can be costly to craft for sure. At least the good ones. There's like multiple versions of them. But yeah, generally just like pop whatever you have and just go with that. And maybe if you do like some real pushing, let's say, like if you want to like push to 100 Nightmare Dungeon, then you're gonna use your big one.
Well, and what Steel said as well, though, is that something people can just trade us?
Oh yeah, you can trade elixirs, yes. So you can actually just like have your army of gatherers running around and bring your elixirs.
We would never.
Definitely will. That's why I want the race to be SSF. I hate it, but I will.
Yeah. Kind of related to trading, actually. Rise was curious. Do you think there'll be any economy related to things like elixirs or farming rare items, like that you can track aspects on? Like, do you think gold will serve a purpose in the have an economy and all that?
Yeah, I think there will absolutely be an economy. It won't be in the game. It will be like third-party websites for sure, but there will be like rare items can be as good as legendaries, so there's no restrictions on like rare items that would make them worse. Initially, like from like open beta and stuff, we thought that this might be the case with like rare items always dropping 3 stats and legendaries always dropping 4 stats, so that, you know, there's a bit of a distinction and you have to like SSF your way for the best in slot gear. But that's actually not the case. So the rare items can have the same item power, and they also have 4 stats later. And for elixirs, I mean, I think elixirs are just going to be like some type of currency. So people that can't pay like 50 million gold for like a GG item, they might just offer you like, hey, 10 crit elixirs, let's go, or something like that. And I mean, I would take that sometimes.
And is gold
speaking
important?
of items?
Sorry?
You can go first, Card.
No, that's kind of related, probably.
Right. Talk to us about gold. Like, what do we need it for? How much do we need? And like, will we need to care about selling things?
Yes. So basically the way I did it, and I think it's like the best strat basically, is just like you salvage as much as you can in the early game, like when you're leveling, you know, 1 to 50 or something, 1 to 60. Just like salvage everything. Maybe whenever you need gold, you just start selling a bit. And then you sell as much as you can, or just everything basically later. Because as you go higher levels, the salvage stuff doesn't really increase anymore, but the gold value of items increases. So you just want to try to get the gold later, so to say. And yeah, you definitely want to have gold, especially if you want to like respec a little bit here and there. I mean, okay, if you also want to buy items from other people, I guess it's not so important in like a racing scenario, but in like an overall economy, where you know, let's say you play a season for a long time or something, you definitely want to stack up on gold so you can buy stuff from other people. So I think gold will be a quite valuable currency. For a race, I guess you kind of just ignore loot at some point if you want to just race to 100 and just like not waste time on the loot and all that. But yeah, generally I was just picking up all the rares and just selling them all after a certain level.
Okay.
I have a related question to that, actually. You're talking about how obviously when you push 100, you want to stop picking stuff up as soon as possible. So how early did you find that your character would be ready to farm like 50, was it? Yeah, 50? Like the highest you can do for most efficient XP?
I mean, 50 shouldn't be hard, I think. Like, once you are around level 100 or close to it, I think a 50 will not be a big problem. Like, on my rogue, I was already, like, you know, running, like, up to, like, plus 10 tiers of what I should run, basically. Like, I was running, like, 40s or so when I was, like, level 80. So, you know, at that point, I should run 30s, maybe. And it was still fine, you know. It depends a bit on the build, how powerful you are. Like, my rogue felt relatively strong, so it might not be as easy for other builds or other classes. But it was fine to go a bit higher.
So the XP, in like if you go beyond like plus 10 levels, that's not worth it. But I don't know how much the XP scales like beyond that.
Yeah, okay. So XP scales. I actually just like yesterday wrote the article on that. Yeah. So basically, yeah, the efficient, like the the best ratio between like monster level and like XP efficiency, so to say, is if you are under-leveled by 3 levels compared to the monster. So if you are level 80, you want to fight level 83 monsters, because you get up to 25% bonus XP for being under-leveled, and then it caps out. And the only XP that you get more than that is the base value of the monster that increases with higher levels of the monster, which is quite minor later. So, for example, I mean, I don't know if these numbers are 100% accurate, but as an example, you fight, like you're level 80, you fight an 83, and you get plus 25%. And then if you're like level 80, you fight a 90, yeah, maybe you get like plus 30% or maybe plus 35. You know, it goes up a little bit from there, but not very much, depending on, like, compared to the difficulty gain, basically, right? You just slow down and it gets harder, and in hardcore you might die. So you don't want to be under-leveled by too much.
Especially with the armor, yeah.
If somebody dies, is there any way we have of catching them up?
Well, like, I mean, true catching up is going to be tough, but you can boost people, yeah.
Okay.
It's definitely another big perk of party. Like, it will take a little while to kind of like get them at least to like level 50 or so, but in like half an hour or so, you can realistically get someone to 50, I'd say.
Okay.
Wow.
It's pretty fast.
And we have to do the campaign, right, on the first character?
Yes.
Okay. Right. Is there a large portion, like, fuck, I don't know how to phrase this question. Like, do you have to do the entire campaign? Like, is there, like, can you cut corners in places?
You have to do the entire campaign, yes.
Right. Okay.
You also get the mount during the campaign. So you have to go to a certain step for the mount, and then you have the mount for, like, I don't know, the rest of the campaign, basically. And then you have to do the campaign so you can do the first capstone dungeon to unlock the higher difficulty.
Is there...
Speaking of the mount, yeah. Like, is there any minimum, I don't know if you were going to ask that, but like, is there a minimum level for the mount? Do you need to be a certain level to be able to use it?
It's just, I think it's just based on the campaign progress. You have to finish a certain quest, and then you got it. And you have it for all characters. So even if you make a new one, you will have your mount. You can skip the campaign if you have finished it, and you can start doing whatever you want.
When you talked about boosting somebody to level 50 in 30 minutes, is that outside of the campaign? Like, for example, say that I die in the equivalent of Act 9 in PoE. Am I completely fucked and I just have to do everything on my own?
I think you're fucked.
Yeah,
yes.
that's what I thought.
No one died during the campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have to finish the campaign at least without a death, else it's gonna be a struggle. Yeah.
Monka.
Wait, how early can we get those revive potions?
Well, I mean, there's always
I
task
need
manager,
one.
so there's that.
Oh
and
shit!
And the potions, I mean, as I said, I mean, you can kind of grind it out, but yeah, like there's like a certain material that just kind of drops from certain monsters, like rarely, and you just kind of stack it up. Like, I don't really think it's like worth grinding those elixirs, just so have a cheat death.
Yeah.
Right.
Can you kind of force the same? So when you're doing the sigils, do they always keep scaling up, or can you just keep running the same level if you want to?
Yeah, you do find a lot of sigils. So when you do like one nightmare dungeon, I guess you find something like on average maybe 2 new ones, and they are usually like around the level of what you're doing, sometimes a bit higher. So most of the time you can kind of like sustain it, or it like slowly moves you up basically, and you also level up slowly after a few runs, so you can go to the next year. Yeah. So it seems like pretty straightforward.
Can you just stay in dungeons nonstop?
Yeah, in groups that will be quite easy actually, because I think that everyone finds sigils, even though only one guy opens. So it's not like in PoE where. Yeah, I think this is actually how it works. So it's not like in PoE where only one guy gets the map drops and stuff. So I think they definitely have to adopt the PoE system here.
Yeah. I'm sad to see why group players.
See, this is a big deal for like XPing.
Especially because you can find like a bunch of the same dungeons, and you just like run them over and over, and then like you have like 10 sigils of the next one. You just go there once, and then
when do they drop?
Times.
Do they just drop like in the whenever?
They drop in nightmare dungeons directly. So you have to do
not like from the boss or anything.
No, they just drop anywhere basically. So not every dungeon has a boss, and they just like drop on the way sometimes. I even found sigils on a chest. So.
Okay, and so the sigil will specify what dungeon you need to get to?
Yes, sigil is for a specific dungeon, so it's very much like the PoE system, I would say, where you have like maps basically. So it's a certain tier, a certain dungeon. You go there. Yeah, the difference is you have to like physically actually go to the entrance.
Right.
Okay. So we need a person to get there for us as we're finishing one.
You can actually do that, right? Oh my god.
Yeah, technically you could.
Mafia.
You technically could like recruit people to kind of like stand at the entrance and then invite you, I guess. And you teleport to town. You teleport.
It would actually save a lot of time.
We'll do that.
Oh my gosh.
This is gonna be Mafia.
Yeah, this is why SSF is better. Oh yeah. Do you have a list of like where there like are all dungeons kind of comparable, or is there like some that are like this is clearly better to farm for the 100 race? Like you want to spam this dungeon.
Yeah, this is pretty hard to do right now. Like I did not actually have enough time to really collect like a lot of data on this. I mean, I have like some footage and I ran them all like a few times and stuff. I have a general idea and a gut feeling about dungeons, but generally I would say it doesn't matter too much. Some of them are a bit like more difficult, I would say, just because of the monster types. So this is probably more what I would focus on here, like the survivability of your characters in certain dungeons. Like some are just like filled with these ghosts and archers and they just blast you, and others are just more straightforward. But yeah, there are definitely better and worse dungeons, I would say.
Right. If you were gonna set up a group with just the because you're playing solo, right? But if you were gonna have a group with the sole purpose of being the first group to 100, what would be your ideal group composition?
I have not really thought about it very much because of the solo prep, but I would say it would probably include both a barb and a druid because of the party buffs, and probably no necro because necros are just like not mobile enough to really catch up with everyone, I think. Yeah, and then you have like maybe a second barb or so, or maybe a rogue. Like the thing is that you can actually do like some really cool combo with rogues. You can do like one penetrating shot, one rapid fire rogue, for example, as DPS, and you have like some insane like AoE machine, and you have like one insane single target machine. So you can do stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, you can definitely make a lot of things work, to be honest. Like, I'm not really sure what is like the ideal combo right now, so this remains to be seen, I guess, with like group metas.
Yeah, I was looking a little bit at it yesterday because we were thinking doing Karn on Barb, Nugi on Druid, me and Steel both on Sork, with Steel being Frost for freezing, me being Meteor for stunning, and then it has that node that's like, was it 30 or 40% more damage per ailment that they're affected by, so it's like 120% damage or something.
The ailment, yes.
Well, yeah, it's like immobilized, stun, and frozen, right?
Well, little pro tip, you're talking about aspect of control, right?
Yeah.
Does that?
Yeah, it's actually multiplicative of itself. So you want to put it on a two-handed weapon and then get 80, 80, 80 3 times. GG.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's why the Sorks won't suck in a group.
Yeah, I mean, okay, in a group, I can definitely see like Sorks really popping off because if you actually apply all these different status effects, then they're gonna destroy for sure. And then you just need to figure out the boss damage somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, true.
Well, Ice Shot should have
surely boss damage.
Right?
I mean, in bosses, okay, I'm not really sure how like stagger works in groups. Like if stagger HP basically raises in a group, I think it does, but I'm not sure. If it doesn't, you can potentially just make like a stagger support and just like walk into the boss and like insta stagger it, and then you have all your buffs from the aspect of control, and you just like melt the boss, right? So this might be something to explore.
Sork viable, copium. Sork viable.
I mean,
it's a bit of copium, but on the other hand, Sork. Sorry.
No, it's just like don't Sork also has some of the best like just kind of AoE coverage.
Yeah, I think AoE wise, Sork is really good. Yeah, it's like I think the single target is a bigger problem. So,
but we can solve that.
I mean, how important is single target actually? Like, are the bosses actually that tanky? Like the Nightmare Dungeon bosses?
They're not like. I mean, they get tanky if you don't want to try to push, I guess. Because if you can't apply all these CCs, and especially on something like Sork, where you rely on aspect of control to be OP, and you suddenly can't actually get anything from it, and you're gonna notice a huge difference on bosses. So you don't want to like slow down much on the bosses. You still want to have like some decent boss, I guess, some decent boss damage. I mean, so that you don't just like waste a minute or two on like a dungeon boss just because you don't have single target.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just assuming a build that just not like completely all in on clear, nothing else is still gonna be fine. Is he gonna do that like respectable?
Yeah. I mean, generally, I didn't have issues with dungeon bosses. Like on my rogue, I was like also mostly AoE focused, and I just had high damage in general with my setup. But I was killing those dungeon bosses in like 10 seconds or so, and I think that's a good time. So somewhere around that number, if you can get to like 10-20 seconds boss kill time, I think you're fine.
Even 20 seconds sounds long.
I heard a lot of people say that the endgame is basically a stun lock fiesta. That the enemies, if you're not immune to stun, you will just get stunned a lot.
Well, I mean, first of all, you can try to get good. Second, unstoppable is pretty powerful. So if you don't have unstoppable and you don't know what you're up against, like if you don't have any idea of what the monsters actually do, then you might get blasted for sure. Like there are a lot of monsters that stun you, knock you down, and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But you can also dodge them. I mean, there are ways to outplay them. It's not just that you have to die in a stun lock.
That's such a rogue answer. Just don't get hit.
Just dodge.
Think about the necromancers, man. They can't move.
On a necromancer, I mean, you probably want to have an evade charge ready, at some point. So.
Yeah, I was surprised. I actually did see some tier lists having Necro as S tier, but I saw a lot as like Necro in C and D tier.
Well, Necros have like basically 1.5 really good builds. This is why like we also have like, I think you have on the max roll tier list, we have like a Necro, Endgame, Bone Spear, and S tier or something. It's just like very powerful. It has like a lot of like raw power, but it's like not super fast. So this is why it's there basically. So it does blast down those bosses, and it has no trouble killing stuff. But it's like the only build on Necro that really works, and everything else, like the blood builds in particular, seem quite weak. The Necros, the minions are very weak. So all the stuff doesn't really work. It's just like bone stuff that kind of works on Necro. But that's one that's actually relatively good.
For unique drop rates, I saw some people were saying they barely found any uniques, and then I saw other tweets saying they were sad because uniques were so common and people had 6 or 7 uniques drop by like level 60. Are they confusing it with legendaries, or what's the rarity like?
No, uniques are actually quite common. I didn't find all uniques, but I did find some of them multiple times, even at level 80 already. And it also seems like uniques generally drop never as normal. I think they always drop at least sacred. At least from all those I found, I haven't found a single one that was normal. They were generally pretty high item power. So most of the time they were pretty close to 800, which is like close to the max. I think 820 is the max.
Mm-hmm.
So
really?
I think they have a high chance of rolling high item power. And I also do drop relatively frequently, I noticed. I was surprised. But I think that each unique has like their own rarity, basically. So it's probably a bit like the tier 1, tier 2 drops or something like in PoE, for example, where some are just like omega rare. Like, I've not heard of anyone like find a Harlequin crest, for example. Like, this is like a stuff that just doesn't exist.
Wow.
This is like some
like
headhunter level stuff,
good.
basically.
That's nice.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, every day I get linked like those theory crafted builds from my viewers or something. there's always a Shaco, of course. Every single time.
Nice. I noticed at BlizzCon when I played for the first time, there was a Stone of Jordan. Is there no Stone of Jordan in the game anymore?
I have not seen a Stone of Jordan, like neither in the game nor in data mine. So this was probably
Surely it's
thing.
coming.
It's coming for sure, I guess. But...
Yeah. Neil, any more questions?
Yeah. So more to do with our specific like leveling strategy. How much do you think we should focus on renown? Because obviously I know you get the 2 passive points. Like, do we want at least that in every region?
I would say, while racing, it might be a good idea to like not fully finish the renown. But I think at the very least, you want the 2 skill points in the potion. So you can't skip the obols because it does nothing. Mm-hmm. And you can consider skipping the Paragon. I mean, 20 Paragon points is not nothing, but it's also not like required to be strong enough, I think. But the skill points, I would say for sure you want to get that, and it's relatively fast. Just like exploration, waypoints, and the altars already brings you like half the way there or something. Like you do a few dungeons, that's basically it. I think to get like to renown 3.
What if we completely split up and just did like 3 dungeons each in a region?
Yeah, I mean, if you do that split up strategy and it's not fixed, then yeah, it's going to be real fast anyway. So in that case,
Because,
I mean, it might be worth just like, taking like an hour per region, like everyone just does like a few dungeons and, then you finish up with a few side quests and that's about it, I guess. And you have like 5 renown everywhere.
Awesome.
Like how long would it take you to get the last tier in a zone?
You mean solo blasting?
Yeah, actually blasting.
Yeah, solo blasting. I would expect something like 20 hours for like the full renown in all zones.
Wow.
Oof.
So it's
you mean from the start, right?
Yeah, from like 1 to 5. In all regions.
Well, let's say from passive points to the last one. Like if you had the passive points already.
I've had the passive points already.
You're gonna get the passive points.
Right, let me count. So you need 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, I believe. So it's like 1100. It's like a bit more than half of the total for the last 2 steps. So yeah, it's like it's 2000 total renown and 1100 for the last 2 steps. So
that's a lot.
Yeah, it's like a dungeon is 30, altar is 20, I believe, or 10. Yeah, 10, I believe. And then you have like side quest is 20. So you do definitely have to do some stuff. Yeah, but if you do this like split strategy, and let's say that an average dungeon is like, I don't know, 5 minutes, maybe 10 with walking and downtimes and stuff. Let's say 10 minutes, everyone does 6 dungeons, and you split that up, and in 1 hour you have like an entire zone completed, all dungeons. I mean, that's a lot of renown. So
nice.
Like 20 dungeons is like 600 already.
Is the amount of renown you need for the skill point the same in every act? Like it takes the same amount of time? Because in Act 1, I remember it was very quickly. You would just get it passively.
It's the same, yeah. Everywhere is the same, and everywhere you get the same renown. So it's just the thing is that I think you cannot reach renown 5 with just dungeons and all the others. Like, I think you have to do side quests, and the side quests are really bad. So that's the main reason to skip it. So side quests really slow it down.
Yeah. I remember testing XP because actually I had a question about this because I remember testing XP like in dungeons or with monsters and in quests. Quests looked very bad for XP, but I don't know if I was just wrong, but it looked like elites did not give that much more XP than say like a pack of monsters. Like if killing a pack of monster versus killing an elite would be like the same or like similar. It would be pretty similar.
Yeah, I mean. Okay, so I can give you some kind of general rule of thumb. So I've done some testing on this XP stuff. The biggest monsters, like like a bear or these like Ice Clan maulers, the big guys with the 200 axe, the Goatman, and these kind of things, they are worth exactly half of an elite, and an elite is always worth the same, no matter what monster type. And the minions of elites are also always worth the same, no matter the monster type. And they are 60% off an elite. So sometimes they have packs of elites with minions. They are really valuable. A single elite is not really that valuable if you spend any kind of like time fighting it, basically.
Yeah,
but if you just like insta blast them, it's definitely worth to kill elites. Like if you just kill them in like 1 or 2 seconds, then that's okay. But if sometimes you have like dungeons, they have like packs of elites. There's like 3, 4 elites in 1 pack, and they also have like 5 minions. You walk in, there's like the big XP explosion there. So that definitely exists, and it's really valuable in that case.
Okay,
so I think generally dungeons are faster than most of this stuff you can do otherwise for XP because there's more elites and it's just generally more density, I guess, and there's no other people like interfering and these kind of things.
Did you experiment with like logout macro, logging out, etc.?
I will never use logout macro. This is there's like a PoE thing. I'm not going to use that here. But you can log out, yes. So
I don't think you need one in this game, to be honest.
Would you ever log out?
Well, yeah, I would log out, I guess, under some circumstances. Okay. If I like, if I like, whatever, if I'm impinged or something, and I don't have a scroll of escape and whatever, right? So the thing is that I'm not 100% sure if the logout is like safe. It seems relatively safe. So this is a big problem, I think, that I need to fix at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Is it a problem though?
I think it is. I don't think it fits in D4.
I mean, you are PoE guys. You're used to logout macro.
Oh, okay, the way I see it. No,
but in Diablo,
like...
this has no place. Like
I agree.
Like D4 is a much more fair game in hardcore terms, so to say, than PoE.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't think it makes sense to have it in D4. I think they should like.
I mean,
And you already
big
have
reason-
tools, you have the scroll of escape, for example, right? So you can actually get out of a boss fight if you really can't beat it. You can get out of like a stun block or whatever, right? So you do have the option to do that, and you shouldn't have to log out on top of that. Like, it's stupid.
I mean, it's not about like the gameplay part of it. Like the game is fair. The game felt very fair and hardcore. Like you can see yourself dying. Like you have options. You have time to react and get out of dodge. But it's mostly for like the usual game crashes. You get DC'd and all this type of stuff. Like the fact that you don't die to this in Diablo is it feels pretty good knowing that you will never die to things like this.
Yeah.
At least currently. But
Yeah,
I agree. Like you don't normally you don't need that.
Honestly, I think they need to just find like some kind of middle ground. It's fine to have like DC protection, and this is originally also what they were going to do with the Scroll of Escape. So the Scroll of Escape was supposed to be like the DC protection. Like you find them, and they're like relatively rare, but when you DC and you're like in combat, then it like auto triggers and it just puts you in town or something. But you can't do this like all the time, right? So you can't just abuse like DCing yourself on purpose, basically.
Because
the scroll is
if it's
relatively
rare.
Exactly.
Yeah, it would make sense.
And I think the system made a lot of sense, but the way that the game currently works is you just log out and you're instantly gone, and the Scroll of Escape is not even doing its job. Like, it's literally not working. Like, I tried this extensively in the open beta and the server slam, and I also wrote like a huge list of problems with that whole system because it's so abusable. And I'm not sure if that's fixed for launch, but I kind of doubt it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that would be a lot better if you couldn't log out.
I mean, long term, I expect this to be fixed. Maybe they just didn't have time and they prioritize other stuff now and whatever. But yeah, right now, it's kind of sad, to be honest. So with hardcore, I think there's gonna be so many people that will, just abuse everything there is, basically. Like DCing, task manager, it's crazy what you can do. So you can literally revive your character with task manager. I
don't think is that even true.
I did it. Yeah, I did it on the server slam, in 2 weeks ago or something, or 3 weeks when I was.
I mean, didn't we do that?
We tested it, and if you saw yourself
people
dying,
would die, and then they would come back in and be alive.
No.
Exactly.
We would other players would see them die, but on their end, they didn't die. They logged out before.
If you got the death message, I didn't find a way back.
No, okay, I can literally show this right now. I made a video about this. Right? I think this was from open beta, this video, but I can show you 1 second. Yeah, but basically, I was able to literally die on my screen, use Task Manager to kill my game, and I logged back in, and my character was there. So
maybe that's when you're playing solo. Maybe it's different from when you're playing in a group.
Oh no, we also did it in 2-man. So I literally saw I tried this in 2-man with my fiance. We made a hardcore character and we went into a dungeon and she died. I saw the death message. I saw her dying and she just logged back in. She didn't use the task manager. I think she's alt F4 or something.
But did she see herself die though?
No, on her screen she wasn't dead, but on my screen
exactly.
she was.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
because we tested it, and if you don't see yourself die, you will not die. But if you die, you're dead, and you will not be revived. So that was the big difference. If you can't just see yourself die, and I died, I'm just gonna log. That's not gonna work. You need to log before you die. On your screen, if you're not dead, you're not dead. That's pretty much the rule.
Yeah.
That we've come to the conclusion.
Yeah, but the task manager stuff is still working. I tried it in server slam again with killing my game with task manager, and I was dead on my screen. And
okay.
That worked. Okay.
Yeah, it worked. Right. Yeah, if you do it, it's a perfect timing. You need to have really good timing.
Yeah.
But if you do it, I think this is actually what I'm showing right now. I think here I did a task manager.
Yeah.
And then there was on the other screen.
Yeah, that was the exact timing. That's the exact timing I found as well. It's if you fully see the ghost, then you're dead. Or
no,
can you show it again?
This is my character. Here, this is my character.
Can you show it again?
Oh, the ghost popped and he did it.
Yeah,
but you don't have
ghost.
But you don't have the message in the middle of the screen saying you are dead. If you wait for that, then you're dead.
Okay, if you wait for that, I guess that's too late. Yeah. But I mean, the problem with this is though that you just I know that people have already made programs that will automatically kill their game when they die because you just detect if the character is dead.
That's lame.
That's really lame.
You can have a posthumous resurrection again, basically.
That's very lame. There's no point in playing hardcore.
Yeah, so this is if that actually works that way on launch, this whole race stuff is kind of sad anyway. So
yeah, it's very tainted.
I heard that even in softcore you don't have the cheat death elixir. Is that a thing? Is that true?
Yeah, softcore doesn't have it. Yeah.
So
I remember, by the way, here on this dev that I'm destroying right now, I actually had a prediction because I was like trying like more and more risky things basically with like trying to kill my character. Like I started with like just like DCing. I started with like opening a VPN. I started with like Alt F4 when I was like almost dead. Yeah, and I was like doing predictions every single time. I know that on this task manager one, like a lot of people lost a lot of points because everyone thought I was dead when I wasn't there. It was great.
Wow, that's crazy.
that's
Yeah, I hope that fixes. I feel like D4 doesn't need a logo macro at all.
yeah, it doesn't. You have
I
scroll
promise
escape. You have so many things.
not to revive my character with task manager. Okay, I promise.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean
I'm
it's
just
stupid.
Alt-F4ing.
Yeah.
I'm Alt-F4ing, that's it. If I die,
I mean,
die.
I think it's fine to like as long as they don't fix this logout timer, like to maybe use that for now. But I would also really like to see that gone. Like if you log out, you should have the 10-second timer, and you can't just get out. Like anywhere. Like I mean, it's kind of stupid that you can just like log out instantly. And like in this game, I think it makes no sense.
I really like the scroll of escape thing, and even having it have like take half a second or something. And if you DC, it takes half a second.
I
Yeah,
normally
exactly.
would not agree with that statement. That you need 10 seconds, but because the scroll of escape exists, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The scroll of escape is exactly the solution to basically all of these problems.
Yeah.
You just need to make it work properly, and then it's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
So I really hope they're gonna do that.
Like imagine how perfect it would be if scroll of escape takes 0.5 seconds to work. And it can work when you're stunned, anything. It works if you DC, anything. But there's no cheat death elixir and no cheat death on Sork. That would be so good.
Yeah, exactly. Like, like I don't know why they started adding this elixir, man. It's so
weird. If you don't want to die, don't play hardcore.
Exactly. Like it's just like make hardcore back into softcore again. Like it's so stupid. I think.
What do you mean?
I don't know.
I play hardcore, but I don't want to die.
No, that's fine. But like, it's very different than the PoE logo macro ends up being a like better balanced way to do it.
Yeah, Khan didn't pay attention earlier when I talked about getting good.
Yeah, that's interesting. How long do you think the race is going to take for first?
One session.
I mean, it's hard to say because I'm not really sure like how many really big blasters are actually going to be there and like trying it. I mean, you're going to be like some pretty organized team, and you're some very experienced blasters. So I guess you actually have like really good chances to be some of the first. I'm not sure. It might be like 4 days, I'd say.
I'm not sleeping until I'm 100.
So. I saw some people were saying 30 hours.
That's no way. I'm thinking like less than 50.
I mean, okay. I mean, like 4 days.
Just,
with
if
breaks
you can
and sleep and
actually
stuff.
just spam schedules and have other people running there, and there's no downtime.
Yeah, okay. I mean, if you do like all the shenanigans, then
why wouldn't you?
For sure.
Everything.
That's the whole thing. Like, why wouldn't
the question
you?
is like, who's really going to be that organized, and actually have these people? It's not going to be many. And even if you do that,
I don't know about that.
Yeah, yeah. Even if you do that, then someone might drip on the way or something, and suddenly your combo falls apart and stuff. So there's also that risk, I guess.
Sure. I mean,
I guess it can be faster, like for 4 days. I mean, 4 days is like my solo expectation, I guess. Like I was saying, like I'm going to do it in 4 days. I guess for groups, maybe I'm talking about like maybe you can even do it with one time sleeping, and you do like 30 hour or something. Well, that might work.
That's why our main plan is to make sure Karn gets 100 because he can do 60-hour sessions, and like I can't. Exactly. I can't.
I like how you just throwing him on the bus. It's like, oh, Karn, he's just gonna play for 60 hours. There it is.
I mean, if it's about just one of you reaching first, then yeah, I mean, just like that Karn finish it kind of, and there you go, right? So
yeah, I'm just doing 30. 30 is fine for me.
Yeah. You'll wake up, I'll be 100, man. Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. I just want like the team to win. I literally cannot do 60 anymore. I'm too old.
I mean, honestly, I don't know how much I'll do. It's gonna depend how much adrenaline is in there.
Yeah,
it all depends on that.
I mean, it's even harder for Noogie. He's 47. Like I have no idea how he's so energetic.
I mean, who's the fit guy here?
Okay. You are.
Young boy.
The stick guy.
Wait, is that real?
Yeah, Noogie's 47.
Yeah.
Oh, holy shit! Yeah. Okay. Nice.
Yeah, he went to high school with Alk. But Alk is like 55 or something.
Oh, that's funny. Right, let's see. Steele, any more questions from your list?
Well, the only thing I've sort of left is regarding glyphs, because obviously none of us got to try glyphs because that was like an endgame system. So some of the questions people had were, when do glyphs start dropping? Are they easily accessible? Because obviously there's like 20 or so per class, so it's going to be hard to get the ones we want for our build. And just how does leveling them up work? I know you use Nightmare Sigils to level them up, but is it hard to get to 15 for the breakpoint where they get bigger?
Okay, so I didn't do too many Nightmare Dungeons, and I had 2 glyphs at 15 already at level 80, and I was working on the 3rd one. So, and this was after doing like basically all the renown stuff in all of the regions. Like I actually grinded out the entire renown thing. In most of your side quests and all that stuff, like I started Nightmare Dungeons, like actual grinding relatively late, at like maybe 75. I really started blasting Nightmare Dungeons. So I only did it for a few levels, and I already had 2 glyphs at 15 then at the end. So it wasn't too bad. You can like actually math out like how many tiers or like how many runs of each tier you need. So the total glyph XP to the max level is like 3,000, and I'm not sure, like 15 is like maybe like half of that, I guess, or so. Let's say 1,500 would be like the XP for a level 15 glyph, I guess.
Right.
And you get basically the tier of the dungeon that you're running times 2 as XP. So if you do like a tier 50 dungeon, you get like 100 XP. You do like 12 dungeons, you have, or like 15 dungeons, you have like a tier 15 glyph. It's not that crazy. So you can level them at least to 15 relatively easily, at least in the later tiers. So you don't want to do it on like, tier 10 or something. It's like really slow. But if you do like tier 30s, it's fine. So at that point, you kind of like start getting those glyphs XP like really fast.
Speaking of glyphs, yeah, go ahead, finish.
I was gonna say, does that mean you can level them up in lower tier? Like you don't actually have to. It's not like the D3 system with gems where you have to.
Yeah, you can do it in lower tiers, but it's just slower. Yeah, like
right.
I mean, technically, I guess if you want to be like super safe or something for some reason, you can do like exactly tier 20, which is like the highest tier of the sacred sigils. So they're like split between sacred and ancestral, which is corresponding to nightmare and torment difficulties. And the sacred sigils go until 20, which is like, basically level 70 monsters. And then it caps out there. And the sacred sigils are like way easier because they only have 2 negative affixes instead of 4, and they're also like, have more revives, and they're easier and stuff like that. So 20s is probably kind of okay to get glyph XP, but it still takes a while. So realistically, it's gonna like grind it out on your way to 100 in doing nightmare dungeons, like 40, 50, 60 or something, and you're gonna get glyph XP pretty fast.
What level are you when you finish the campaign?
You're relatively close to 50, I'd say. It depends on how much side you do. Wow. So you can kind of like just jump into nightmare difficulty, I guess, if you're strong enough. So even if you're a bit underleveled, like you do the capstone dungeon and then you go on nightmare and you can start getting the higher level dude. It's pretty good actually.
Okay. So like a full list of things we like need to do before we just start like the nightmare dungeon push. We need to finish the campaign. We need to get all the +2 skill points. And is that the main stuff that we need to do before we just start like grinding dungeons?
Yeah, I would say like a must-have are the skill points. So you want to do at least renown 3, and then you can skip renown 5. I think that's okay for a push to 100. And yeah, then it's basically 9 dungeons on there. But it just seems to be like the most efficient XP. So maybe there's gonna be other strategies that you can find. One thing I would recommend is like do like a hell tide here and there in between, at least at some point, because you get like pretty valuable materials there, so you can roll your items. You might find like some really good loot on the way, and you can't roll it without doing hell tide. Right. So you can like enchant it for another stat, for example.
Is there any benefit to PvP at all? That'll help in the race?
I mean, you can kill the competition.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say.
So that's definitely one thing I will try. But in like general terms, not really. I mean, you can farm the monsters in the PvP zone, and you can also farm gear there. There's like this special currency that you get from PvP can be used for gambling items, but it seems relatively slow, at least until the high levels. I think it's not really going to be like a good source of items, I think. So
okay.
probably no point really compared
Do
to.
players
Like,
give XP? Do players give XP?
I don't know if players give XP actually. I've not tried.
You get half
I
the
feel like
accumulated XP easy.
I killed like some guy. I didn't even know what it was or who it was. I just like walked past.
I wanna be 99.9 and do I have a duel to the death with the your guy?
Imagine if PvP is good XP, you get a whole new way of power leveling. You get your
my
chat to just
God.
level up characters to be slaughtered. Like, I have a ready card.
I do have to say it's kind of sad. There are some achievements actually in the game for killing others on hardcore. I think you get like a title and stuff. But it doesn't have a level requirement. I think it would be awesome if this was like a level 100 character you have to kill and you get a title. That'd be badass. But yeah, maybe.
Wow, that's funny.
I was wondering about the glyphs actually. Where do you get them, and how often do they drop the rare glyphs?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't answer that earlier.
Right.
You find them like on the way. They can like, I think they can just drop anywhere after you unlock paragons basically. And I had them all at level 80 already, so they kind of like just you acquire them on the way.
Well, like literally anywhere, overworld, dungeons, like doesn't matter. Just monsters.
I think so, yeah. I don't think you have to do anything special for them.
Okay.
Nice.
What about mounts?
Yeah, mounts is from the campaign.
Yeah, but like, would you rush the mount? Would you like level up fast to get the mount, or would you just get it when it's there? Is there any benefit?
I would say, yeah, I mean, the mount definitely helps speed things up a little bit, especially if you like, this like split strategy and go around all the world. Someone goes to the stronghold, someone goes to this dungeon, you get the waypoints here and there. So, this is like some stuff you definitely want to do, and you want to do it efficiently in a team early on, I guess. So the mount helps, but I mean, you're gonna be rushing the campaign anyway. So this is like you're not gonna stop anywhere along the way, really. Besides maybe doing like one or two dungeons here for a codex power, I guess. So, yeah, this is probably what you're going for. Just like unlock your most important power and then just blast the campaign.
How important are the Lilith statues?
You should definitely collect them. And I mean, there are maps already out there, so you just like probably go around at some point and collect them all. Yeah.
Really?
We have the entire map of all the altars.
What if that's like the first thing you do? Like just make like a route and get all the Lilith filters?
You can definitely like do it very early, I would say. Yeah, like basically as you go around the zones, like maybe when you do a renown stuff in that zone anyway, just like pick up the altars. They don't really like have like an immediate benefit, so to say. Like the stats kind of like very slowly stack up, and yeah, they just help you out with like a bit more resource, a bit more damage, whatever, right? And then like for the paragons later, you will have like an easier time reaching those stat thresholds for a bit of a boost. It's not really like crazy to have the altars, but they give you also renown, so it's kind of like part of the renown grind, I would say. Just like pick up the altars.
That's why I was thinking that maybe it's not worth it. You would, at least in my mind, I would just grab the altars that are on my way that I can find, like without having to go out of my way to get them. And because
exactly.
like
I'll grab them those that you're like close by. Like if you have the map open on the other screen or something, it's like always look around when you go to like new area. Just pick them up where you are and do your other thing that you wanted to do anyway.
Yeah.
So this is probably what I would recommend. There's only one thing. There are 4 altars that actually give paragon points, so you definitely want those. You get +4 paragon points, so you can just pick them up. They're all actually like very, very near to each other in dry steps. So something to check out.
Okay.
What about swapping between world tiers? Are you doing the entire campaign on world tier 1 on hardcore? Like, is there a benefit to being higher early?
Well, the benefit of going veteran is just that you are generally higher level, I guess, once you finish the campaign. So you don't have to do like as much like side content to potentially gear up or something. Probably I will switch between 1 and 2 myself. So I'll probably start on 1, and then whenever I have like a huge power spike, I will switch to 2. I think this is probably the strat. Like when I played now, I did everything on World Tier 2, which was, still relatively easy. Like it wasn't like crazy or so at my Rogue. So Rogue also had, on my Rogue I also had the aspects. Like I have like my main aspect very early in the progression. At level 15 or so, you can get it for like Twisting Blades, the build I'm gonna run. And yeah, from that point, it was actually relatively smooth. But again, this depends on the builds and like how strong you feel, like, especially against bosses. So if you don't feel you have boss damage early on, you should probably go on 1.
Okay. How are respec costs?
Actually, not really such a problem. I gotta say. So, yeah, everyone was like so concerned, like respecking or it's gonna be crazy and stuff. But actually, not really. So at least on 80, I mean, I guess the income doesn't really speed up anymore at that point, and the gold cost of respecking will speed up, and you potentially have to unspec more points as well. So it will definitely get costly, especially towards level 100 to do respecs. But it's mostly about paragons. If you have like a paragon setup that is like relatively universal, I guess, then you are totally fine. Just respecking a few points in there, changing a skill or two, and all that stuff is like nothing. It's the paragons that will really be costly if you want to do like a full build respec to something else. If you have to like adjust the entire board to like 200 points, then it's going to be a hefty cost.
Oh, so you can change the boards then, remove the boards
you can change the boards. Yeah, of course you can like adjust them as well. It's like point by point. It's just the same thing as on the skill tree. But yeah, you don't want to do respecs too often, at least on like a major respecs, I guess. But it was still fine. Like I was able to swap my builds a lot. I played like 10 different builds, and I still had like 15 million gold at the end, like trying out a bunch of stuff at level 80. So I was fine on that end, but I did not really switch my paragons around all the time. So this is like the one thing I avoided doing, and I was fine.
Cool. Okay. Any other questions from anyone?
That's actually everything on the list, to be honest with you. maybe some people from chat?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, we could take questions from people. I feel like we've learned a lot.
Yeah, you popped off, Footy Joe. You just like...
Actually, can you, if you complete the side quest, for example, if you complete the side quest, does everybody get the completion?
I don't know about side quests, actually.
Like main quest, for example, like I'm assuming like what was it you said? The main quest is fine, right? Because you just get teleported there, right? But the side quest, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, like the main quest you have to do mostly together, so I'm not 100% sure how that works. If you can like skip out on some steps and come back later and actually get a completion. For side quests, I think you just have to like kind of do it yourself together. Like I think you have to all go together. I'm not 100% sure. I've not actually tried that.
Are glyphs able to be leveled up while they're in use?
Yes.
Nice.
Oh, how were treasure goblins?
They're pretty good, I think. So if you find them, you just like try to hunt them down. At least if you can kill them easily. You gotta be careful, Butcher might be around the corner and stuff. But outdoor zones, yeah, just like go for them, and generally they drop something good.
Were there any
teleported? Oh, sorry.
Were there any immunities on monsters?
No.
Nuki, carry on. Sorry.
Can you teleport into a room of goblins?
I know that rooms of goblins exist in cellars, but it's like really rare thing. I've actually not seen it.
Oh.
So,
but like, can you know before you trigger them and just teleport people in?
I'm not sure. Like, I guess you can see it on the map and before you engage, and you can see like the little icon of the goblin. So I guess technically you can like invite people and then do them together. That should probably work. So if you want to like recruit even more people for your army, you can like recruit like another 100 people that run around and just like spam cellars until they find goblins. Go ahead.
That's so smart.
Yeah. Yeah, the hardcore race is gonna be very fun, guys. Trust me.
More games need SSF for group found. I love the RuneScape group found. It's like the best thing ever.
Yeah, I wish it was separate group found.
I mean, on one hand, it's kind of cool that you can do some shenanigans like this, but in any kind of like competitive sense, it's obviously pretty awful with all these advantages that you have. So I think that at least like on a competitive side, it doesn't actually have to be like a full SSF mode. It just needs to be like something like you like voluntarily do not group, you do not trade, and something like that would already work, right? As like a check mark or whatever, like or like some kind of like a tag or something. Even though you have other people running around in the open world, right? There's just random people that you see sometimes. So they don't have to make like an SSF server, but something would be nice for sure.
Yeah, you could just do like solo hardcore.
Yeah.
Unofficial season 1 leaderboard. Let's go.
Yeah.
No, just like a mode where you cannot group. That's it. That would be.
Yeah, exactly. If you cannot group, I'm not sure if you can actually trade with someone who's not in a group. So maybe cannot group would already solve the trading problem too at the same time.
Oh.
Because I think trading would also be like relatively impactful. Like you can just like feed someone with all the elixirs and all the good loot and all that. So.
Oh, If you kill somebody in PvP, can you loot them?
I don't think so. I've not tried it, but I don't think
I mean,
there's any
Oh my
stopping.
god.
You'd have to be hardcore to check that anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah,
mean,
'cause
I
I
don't
don't
think
think
so
you
though. I'll be surprised.
I mean, maybe he's dead, so he doesn't need his gear.
He doesn't need it anymore.
Yeah, so I would be surprised. That'd be cool. I wish. I hope that worked that way.
Yeah. But that would be trading.
Oh, yeah.
Do we have any more questions from chat?
I just had something I wanted to say, but I forgot it now because he changed topics.
Oops.
Unlucky.
Yeah. Now the wisdom is forever lost, I guess.
Oh, how significant is the XP gain from completing dungeons relative to the time to kill the boss? Like, is it worth skipping the boss?
No. I mean, you don't really do nightmare dungeons just to grind. You don't really do normal dungeons just to grind. Like you want to always work on renown, for example, and that kind of stuff. So of course you could potentially get more XP faster if you just like grind the best dungeon over and over and stuff. But realistically, you do a renown stuff and then you go nightmare dungeons. And the nightmare dungeons you have to finish the boss, else you don't get the reward at the end. Like, I guess
What if you
technically
don't
it's
want it?
all about
What's
XP.
the reward?
Yeah,
because if
the
it's all
reward
about
is a
XP,
glyph.
just skip.
It has an XP bonus at the end, and also you get a glyph, right? I guess
Yeah.
technically, if you don't need a glyph leveled anymore and that stuff,
yeah.
you could try to skip it, but it sounds like not really like a realistic scenario.
Right.
I mean, that would be a glyph level 15. You don't need to level it further, maybe.
Yeah, I think this would only be a case of like you have absolutely no boss damage at all, and then okay, maybe you skip those dungeons that have bosses as much as you can. And if you are forced to run it, then you just like skip the boss there. So maybe that could kind of work if you have like some super OP build, but it just can't kill bosses. Maybe I can see that, but realistically, not really. I think people's generally gonna try to have a bit of single target damage and actually just finish it.
So like if you're a Quinn build.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Quinn, then okay, maybe you can consider that. Yeah.
If one person in the group dies and we do the boosting thing, I guess it's beneficial just for one person in the group to do the boosting and the others just to keep doing whatever they're doing.
Yes, I think only one guy is fine. Like, it's not that hard to like just like take someone and like get them through the capstone dungeons and like at least like depending on what level you are. If you're like level 80 plus already, then one guy can easily carry it and it's gonna be fun.
So it's just the capstone dungeons to boost?
Yeah, realistically, yes. So you do the capstone dungeons and you're gonna get a lot of XP there. So after the capstone dungeons, you're already like, I don't know, probably 20, 30, like in like a matter of like 10 minutes or something. And then you can like run them through a few dungeons and yeah. But in hardcore you gotta be careful though, because the monsters will one-shot you on a low level. So you have to like kind of like make sure they do like a proper like clear of the area, and then the other guy follows you around a little bit off screen and stuff. So it's not gonna be like as easy to boost someone on hardcore, I guess. But if you're careful, it's probably doable.
Wasn't the XP global? Like if you're in the dungeon, you get the XP.
I need to remember now. We tested this.
I think the answer is yes.
Actually, I think actually you might be able to just stand in the entrance. Yes, and I think it's just a party bonus that disappears.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because I remember we did this.
Yeah, and legendaries get teleported to you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So, yeah, so boosting is pretty powerful, I guess.
Yeah. Wow. Awesome. I think that might be it.
Yeah.
That was good. That was a solid 2 hours.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite excited to see what you guys are gonna pull off, and if you're gonna be the first, or if there's like some other like unknown teams that just come out of nowhere and stuff. So I'm pretty sure there's also like a lot of like non-streamers that are just gonna like mega blast and have been preparing for this already. So it's gonna be fun to see.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Yeah, that actually could happen. Like, imagine all of us died to the same thing. We're just like, oh, are there global messages when somebody dies on hardcore?
I don't think there is.
I don't know. I don't know if they have like this PoE system.
I mean,
it
there
would
was
be really cool actually if they have like the shout out.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing. I love watching people die.
It's really cool, actually. It's really cool. Yeah, they should have that for sure.
Yeah.
We need naming lights.
Naming lights, exactly.
Yeah.
That would be amazing, man. Like if it's not in launch, man, they have to introduce that in season 1 or something.
Yeah.
Maybe
Maybe
one
nice
of the
to have-
leaderboards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it would be so cool just to get like a shout out, like, okay, this is the first person, reach level 60, reach level 70, and then this guy died at level 74, and it's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
Man.
it's half the reason to play.
Yeah. But yeah, everybody in chat, let's give a big applause to Woody Joe. Thanks so much, dude. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you for taking time to talk to us. Do you want to give yourself a shout out for people that want to see more of your content and all the stuff you're going to be putting out until release?
Yeah, like I was working on a lot of YouTube videos today. I've released like 10 videos today alone, and now until 10 hours from now, I'm gonna be releasing even more videos. And of course, yeah, I'm gonna be blasting. I'm gonna be racing as well on hardcore, but of course with like the little caveat that I've played. So let's see how it goes.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Noogie, you want to say where people can find you?
Nugian on Twitch and YouTube when I'll finally make some content.
Nice.
Yeah, Nugian.
Yeah, I mean, it's Twitch Karn_. Karn Direct on Twitter, and I'm gonna be spinning.
When are you renaming to just Bone Zone?
No, I'm not listening to your ChatGPT thing. Okay, I'm not doing that.
Steel, what about you?
You can find me walking the streets of Belfast at 2 a.m. with my good friend Zizaran. Also on Twitch TV, Steel Mage.
Please don't find us at 2 a.m. That would scare the shit out of me.
It's true.
Also,
you wanna go for a walk later?
Yeah. Only 3 hours, 4 hours. All right.
I'm keeping out of that. Holy.
All right. Well, we'll end it there. Thanks for everyone watching on YouTube. Thanks for everybody watching on Twitch. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Try to die less than we do.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, good luck.
All right. Perfect. All right.
Thank you, man.
Thanks.
Cheers,
Yeah.
mate.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited to see it. I mean, I'm not gonna be able to watch anything because I'm gonna be sleep deprived as everyone else here. But yeah,
I remember the question actually.
What was it?
Yeah.
I remember the question because there's like some items and some legendary powers that, for example, like yes, it's Thorns, but is that the question? Because there's like a legendary aspect that gives you Thorn while berserking, for example, and it's a value that's variable. I don't know. Does it vary on the level, on the item power, or your level? That's what I don't know. I don't know if it scales with your level. If it just when you drop it, then it has a fixed value.
Yeah, some of them scale with your level and some with the item power. So I have not really identified the exact system there.
Because there's like some items that have
the flat values they work a little bit weird. Like I also noticed, for example, when you upgrade on the blacksmith, like it increases the ranges, like the minimum and maximum ranges, but does not actually increase the value sometimes and that kind of stuff. So it's very strange.
Oh, yeah. I've had that sometimes when you upgrade an item and the stat like literally triples because it goes from a low roll to a high roll.
I mean that as well. Yeah, that is like the other thing with like the blacksmith like shenanigans you can do. But just like for these like flat value affix, I also tried some stuff like upgrading a flat value like legendary item and then extracting it and then putting on another one and upgrading it again. But I don't think it can double dip on the upgrades. So it kind of like resets it to some value and then you upgrade it again or something. So I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah, it was weird. I couldn't figure out either something consistent.
Oh, I saw a question in chat I actually really want to ask. Nash fan said, did you guys ask Fudio if you still would have played early access if you knew it would disqualify her for the Lilith statue race?
I mean, it's kind of strange because like we had the early access and there was no mention of this race or anything like that, right? And then like afterwards they just disqualified us. I mean, I had already said before they disqualified us that I'm not gonna claim it basically.
Yeah.
So on one hand, I would have really liked to have to release and race and all that stuff, like try to get well first and these things. But on the other hand, just playing the early access is probably more important, to make the guides, to help people out, have a better understanding of the game, and just there's gonna be a lot of people that will just ask me 1,000 questions every single day, and that it helps a lot more people, I think. So this is a bigger reason, I think. And we can still have races, you know. We can have our own races. We can make our own SSF races if we want to, right?
Yeah, I was thinking that like maybe 2 weeks in, 2 weeks into SSF race.
Exactly, like we can do this kind of stuff, and I actually have plans for these kind of things, and I guess maybe someone like you do too as well, right? So that would definitely be cool to make these kind of like community competitions as well, and you can always do that, right? So it's just like the launch thing, and I'm going to be racing 1,000 times. You know, I can skip one race, even though it's like the kind of like the big one at the launch. So yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, for sure. Like I've actually asked them. I'm begging for them to give a dueling feature so I can do a PvP tournament.
Yeah, dueling would be great, for sure. Like, you know, just like go somewhere in town and just like have like a 1v1. I mean, that would be kind of fun for sure.
Yeah,
like,
especially to the death.
Yeah, I'm not really sure like how like PvP like kind of tournaments would work at all, because like it's gonna be kind of hard to actually get people into the same instance of a zone and stuff like that, right? So in general, I don't think it will be that easy to actually like fight the right people that you want to without anyone interfering. So
yeah, I mean, the ideal scenario would be if you could just make a group of 4 people and then duel within that group and duel to the death.
So there could be some like, I mean, it is free for all basically, right? And if you have a team, then I guess you are a team together in that free for all zone.
Oh, that'd be so cool to group duels. Oh, so much fun.
Exactly. Yeah, I was also like one thing I had on my mind was that at the end of a season, you know, whenever it's like the last day or something on hardcore, it's just like, you know, the last man standing tournament, you know, everyone goes there. So that's going to be glorious.
I love that idea. Definitely down. I will be there. See how many airs you can end up with before the season ends.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, collect all the airs in a stash. That's going to be great.
I mean, I think that's like the main end game for me, like PvP. That sounds so fun.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it's good. So we can actually, because otherwise, yeah, that would be the thing you do. Just gear characters for PvP.
I saw a druid versus rogue though, and the druid was just perma-stunning the rogue. The rogue couldn't move or do anything. The druid was just like, "Okay, you're dead now." Yeah.
Yeah, I think PvP it's gonna be probably like more similar to like D2 PvP, right? Where like it's just don't get hit and then try to get like land like one hit. And it's gonna be like probably like very fast paced, and it's all about like who has the first strike, so to say. I think this is probably how it's gonna go.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll see. I mean, maybe you can actually make a character tanky enough, and it's gonna be a bit of a back and forth. But on the other hand, it's like very easy to kind of like miss the mark, and then like people just don't die at all. So yeah, I guess realistically, it's better if people actually get one shot than it is, and they're just like invincible.
Yeah, true. Awesome.
But yeah, we'll see, I guess.
All right. Well, thank you again so much for joining us. That was super fun. We have a lot of planning to do. It's gonna be an interesting race.
Yeah, I'm gonna spend all night planning this.
It'll be hard, man. Like planning with like thousands of people. Holy. Wait, hold on. Man, are we still live?
I guess you have to retreat and, you know, just like make the route and everything. I guess like check the map and check
the boys and the
yeah, we can have like a sign up sheet.
As a Pee-wee Mafia coming to Diablo.
Awesome.
But yeah, I mean, like if you're like actually like staying there on like hardcore, I mean, we can also just like, you know, like do some group stuff together at some point, right after the race, and you know, maybe like do some pushing or whatever, right? So it's gonna be kind of fun.
Yeah, they will definitely try to get like to do Nightmare 100 in hardcore for sure.
That'd be fun.
That's like maybe, yeah.
Like it's gonna be a huge achievement, I think, to do 100 on hardcore. I think even on softcore is gonna be a pretty massive achievement for anything that's not a bull and barb. So I guess we'll see.
I mean, that'll be the second race, right? First race to 100, and then second race to 100 dungeon.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, I think that the
so
race
first
doesn't
sleep.
end,
Yeah. First session 100, second session Nightmare 100. Okay.
You sound like Havoc.
Wow. Yeah, that would definitely be something that Havoc would also do, I guess.
Yeah.
What is your typical uptime, Karen, for a PoE gauntlet?
Oh, it's like around 30 hours, like 30. In Gauntlet it's less because you know it's it's a bit rippy, but like 30, 35 I'd say, yeah.
35.
And like this league I did 58 at League Start for 100.
Wait, you just did it in one go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they in one go.
You literally did.
I started the league started and I went to bed when I was 100.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good league start.
Yeah, it was a big start, man.
It's crazy.
what-
I've never
what is-
done more
what
than
is the
40.
Yeah, what is the fastest solo 100 ever, actually?
I mean,
Do you know?
that's mine. Yeah,
That-
that's
is
mine.
that yours, actually?
Yeah. I mean, from the
From
time
from
of
league start. From
Yeah,
league
from
start.
league
I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, obviously from play that. I mean, yeah, from league start, yes.
I played it's like
Much
hours.
Played, you can, played. I could have done it like 15 hours faster on played. Because I played different. Yeah, I could have done a lot faster.
So it's a
on
different
played.
patches too, where it was faster, did 100. They actually made it slower, did 100 because of Steel Mage.
Aw.
It's true.
Yeah.
This is your fault. It was at a like meetup in like Melbourne or something. I don't know. And Chris asked Steele like, "So how do you feel about the level 100 race?" And Steele was like, "Oh, I feel it's a little bit like too fast." So they made a patch where they were like, "Well, we talked to some of our endgame players, Steele, and then we made the race like 3 times slower."
Oh, nice. Good job, Steel. Yeah.
There is oh, hang on. Let's see if I can find it.
I mean, the same thing might happen here, honestly, right? So it's just like, oh, wait, so people are like a tier 100 nightmare dungeon, like day 3 before early access is over. Like, what is going on?
You want to see proof that like what I was actually there at the meetup. I'll link it. That is me.
Holy, who is this?
Wait, I saw
Who
this
is
picture. I
this?
didn't even realize. Let's see. I
Who
can't
is this?
try to show it on screen.
I only just started. Well, I say recently. It's been like 4.5 years now. But this is like 10-year-old picture of me. This is 10 years ago or something. 9 years ago,
Oh
maybe.
boy.
Wait, you have your tongue out. It's like you're bossing.
Yeah, so that is the meetup I talked to Chris at.
Nice. Did you also do a dev check back then?
Yeah, maybe. Oh, he probably was. I mean, he's obviously he's the center of attention, so he's probably like,
It's kind of funny.
That's funny.
Like, what did you do there? Like, how come that you were there?
because I'm a nerd. Like I never ever go to the city because that's right in the heart of CBD, right? The heart of the city. I never go except for this one thing. I left my little hovel just for that one time. I even asked some of my real life friends to go, so I'm like, don't get stabbed or something.
That's fair.
Nice.
Awesome.
Oh,
All right. I don't know what to do now.
I mean, yeah, what to do? We gotta prepare, man. What do you mean?
We're theory crafting. What is this?
What do you mean?
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a lot of things to do, dude. What do you mean?
We got work.
Wait, okay.
Yeah.
You said, wait, I want to know actually. So you said you're gonna have 2 swords. Like, what are the builds exactly? 1 ice shards, and what is the other one?
Well, so I nothing's set in stone yet, but I was looking at doing meteor for the immobilize, and
Yeah,
then
so you could do-
fireball.
You could do like the Arclash thing. I was also looking at it. You didn't mention it, and chat was making fun of me because you didn't mention it. But there's like a Z DPS Sork that focuses on suction. You know, like the teleport, and then you get you can even get the teleport enchant with double evade. That does work, right? The double evade.
Yeah,
on...
that should work. Yeah, but I mean, you have to get the chest for that first, right? It's unique, so it's gonna be quite late potentially.
Yeah, like if we do get that, we could pivot into
Two
a Sork.
swords.
Yeah, so you could do some sort of super tanky Sork that focuses on applying ailments. Well, what did you call them again? Status effects, whatever.
Ailments, yeah.
I guess it works for the PoE guys.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. But anyway, so he could do focus on that and focus on actually grouping them together. But alternatively, in hindsight, maybe we should just split the dungeons, like split farm, because you do get XP. Like, so if 2 groups split within the same dungeon, you get XP throughout the whole dungeon, right?
Yeah, I mean, many dungeons cannot really be split farmed though. Like a lot of them are relatively like
linear.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like super linear always. Like, you know, sometimes you can go like left and then right, and it's like a circle, and it's like it loops back together or something.
Yeah.
But I think you're gonna have a lot of trouble with like kind of splitting up in a lot of dungeons.
Right. Well.
So I think that, you know, if you do like this renown strat with like actually splitting up and this works, then this is probably like the better option there. It's just like, you know, go to your own dungeon. You have like 1 player HP instead of like 4 player HP.
Yeah.
That you have to deal with. And like you get a renown super fast, and then just like go into the nightmare dungeon grind really fast. And I think in Nightmare Dungeons,
Yeah.
it's probably not worth the split because you probably rather like stick together and have it safer and go higher or something.
Yeah. Well, in that case, this is most likely.
I mean, if you could think about it this way, if we can split and do it like 50% faster, you can just do a lower tier.
Yeah, I mean that could also work, but you have to make sure that you're always below the monster level at least. So you always want to be underleveled.
Well, do you though? If it's only like if the XP bonus is not that big, and if going a little lower doesn't,
I mean, it's 25%. That's pretty big.
Yeah, 25% is quite a lot, I think. So this is the 25% is
depends
definitely
on how much faster you could clear it. If you could essentially split into two.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that the difference between
Right.
being on the same level and being 3 levels under is like that large.
Yeah.
It's more about like having
difficulty?
going
Right,
like
okay.
10 tiers higher, 10 levels higher or 20 levels higher. Then stuff really
Right.
starts hurting you, and just the 3 levels is not that crazy.
So
But
it's
like
3
very
levels, right?
valuable. Yeah,
It's
3
3
levels.
levels for the. Yeah, so 3 levels, like, it's probably what you do.
This is it's nothing crazy. So.
Yeah.
But it's the gain is a lot. So.
Does it keep going down like below? Like if you go 10 levels, like if you're 10 higher, do you just keep getting a higher and higher penalty?
Yeah, it goes down. So it's like minus 10% per level. I think like at minus 10, I think I just don't get XP anymore. But I have not 100%.
Oh, right. Okay. Right. So it's really bad.
Yeah. So you can't farm any low level stuff really.
Yeah.
Actually, I was wondering about the. Oh, sorry, keep going. Sorry.
No, I just meant to say that the monsters actually always just scale with you anyway in outdoor zones. So you're expected to be able to defeat monsters of your own level. And this is usually not such a big problem. Like if you do like outdoor zones, it's usually quite easy compared to like Nightmare Dungeons. So, there's like nothing, there's like no reason to actually farm lower level monsters, like go back to like Nightmare difficulty and farm lower monsters or something. Like there's no point in that. Unless somehow you really messed up and your entire gear is broken and your build's also scuffed and you just don't have any dough. So in that case, you might have to and get a bit of gold and fix it.
Yeah. Okay. My question was about uniques actually. Like, do you drop only uniques from your class?
Yeah, and there's class-less uniques and basically anything that you can use.
Okay, that sucks.
Do you think the double sock thing is a bad idea, by the way?
Not necessarily. I mean, the thing is that an Ice Shard Sock definitely profits from having another Sock present for the double Frost Nova. I mean, this is a pretty huge buff to an Ice Shard Sock. And potentially, like if you can like stagger bosses, like if you have like some insane stagger setup with like all the crowd controls, you walk in, you stagger the boss, you have the aspect of control. I mean, that can work relatively well, I think. I'm not really so sure about Meteor though. So even though they have to immobilize, which is nice, you have to burn, which is nice.
The delay, right?
Yeah, it's not just the delay. I think just the damage of Meteor is probably not good enough to really hold up. Maybe very late game when you actually solve your mana issues somehow, and you can just spam meteors all day long. It might be pretty good once you have like the full synergies and everything. But yeah, that was actually not proven yet. So I'm not 100% convinced of Meteor.
Yeah, we'll just have to work on Ziz's build then, I guess.
Yeah, I think Ice Shots is fine, and then something maybe you can explore is Ball Lightning. So that
Backlash build or.
You can do Arc Lash and like later transition into Ball Lightning. That works too, I guess. Like Arc Lash Hydra is just like solid, like decent AoE, DPS, decent single target. It kind of works. And Ball Lightning, I think, has pretty high potential on the high end. Like once you have like your stuff together.
Okay. Do you think the Fireball enchant will be a good idea in the format? It should be, right? Like one of us running Fireball, all benefiting from it.
Yeah. I mean, you might actually just like run double Fireball and shot. And the entire pack explodes, I guess.
Right.
I mean, honestly, this is not a bad idea. If you don't need a second enchant to make your build work, it might be that way actually.
I will keep that in mind. We were only going to run one, but yeah, they stack, right? So
actually,
yeah.
How much?
And actually, the split farming in dungeons might also work really well because it just like pops, Like...
I mean, we were talking about the other day. I was saying we could just have like each of us that is not Sork has his pocket Sork. It goes with him. If we have to split for any reason, we do 2-2 with one Sork.
Me and Ziz could actually run the same build. I don't know how cooked that would be. We just because we both get
if we find the right uniques for some other builds. I mean, then we Then
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think
you have a
there's
lot of
actually-
options because you're 2 Zorgs to find more enabling stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like most of the uniques on Zork are pretty trash, though. I think the chest is kind of
really?
nice. And I mean, you have like some fireball uniques, and then you have like an incinerate unique, and I don't know, they're all kind of I think.
Hmm.
And what else is there actually? So like I don't know, like maybe I'm not remembering everything. Let me check. But yeah, generally like they don't really strike me. Like most uniques are not necessarily good. So they are sometimes very specialized, and you have to like really build around them to make kind of like use them at all. That's the thing about uniques. So yeah, there's like one charge bolts unique. I mean, crackling energy unique.
There's frostburns, which might be okay for staggering and stuff like that.
Frostburn
seem really good.
I actually found Frostburn and I
Yeah.
used it. Frostburn is legit, man. That's a good item actually.
Yeah.
Okay, I have some questions about stagger actually. So like spamming the same thing, because the frostburn, right? That's the one that freezes. If you just keep freezing over and over again, does that generate a lot of stagger? Like I know you can't like refreeze, like eventually they become immune, but like for boss stagger.
Yeah. Okay, so stagger, the way that stagger works is that you generally want to have different types of crowd control. You don't want to spam only one. So there's basically like a certain amount of stagger that applies depending on how long the CC that you would have applied actually lasts. So like a frostburn is a 2-second freeze, so that applies, I don't know, let's say 15 stagger. And you have to like 250 stagger to stagger a boss. So you have to proc that like 15 times or something like that.
Right.
But there is like a kind of like a cooldown on each different type of CC. So you have to let it actually run its course, like of the original duration.
So is the cooldown the same as like an elite if you would have reached
No.
stagger limit,
The
or is it different?
The cooldown is basically the duration of the CC that you tried to apply to the boss. So like the 2-second freeze, like if you proc it every 2 seconds, it's perfect. But if you proc it like 2 times in a row in the same second, it gives you much less stagger. It's like almost nothing. But you can
it's
apply
more like
CCs.
it's not so much. It's more like you just want to do the interval rather than the like to get it.
Yeah, exactly. You wanna apply it exactly whenever it's basically over, so to say.
Yeah.
And the real way to stagger a boss is to have a lot of different crowd controls. So you want to go in, you want to have daze, stun, taunt, freeze, everything basically at once. And this is how you like mega stagger it, because you can like apply all these like long CCs at the start, and they all have their full stagger duration and their full stagger like damage basically. So and then you can like reapply it if in case you need to actually stagger the boss fully. But I actually did like a showcase of this during the Source time. I did like a rogue, and I did exactly that. I had like a cold imbuement, I had like a stun on my shadow step, I had like some slow procs, I had like some daze, like smoke grenade, all that good stuff. And I walked in there and I just staggered the boss in like 5 seconds or something, because I literally just spammed all the crowd controls.
Well, you also so I saw that you also did a lot. So do damage stagger as well, or is it only stagger damage that adds to the bar, or does damage apply as well? Because you already did a lot of damage to him as well.
Yeah, I mean, I just had like good gear, and like I was using twisting.
Yeah.
No, damage itself does not stagger.
Okay.
So, but yeah, for example, when you have the shout, like the challenging shout on Bob, I mean, Khan is definitely gonna run that. There's like a huge taunt that lasts like 8 seconds or something. Like that alone already staggers as hell. And I think there's also knockback on these shouts. Like if you use like war cry.
I was actually gonna ask about this. Like if you do war cry, because it's gonna knock back the boss. So does that even stagger?
Yeah. Like generally, like these like triple shout barbs, they actually stagger bosses pretty fast, like just because of those shouts.
Yeah.
So if you combine this with like some immobilize and some freeze and all that, like you're probably gonna walk in and the boss is staggered like pretty quickly.
Is it unique to the player, or is it unique to the thing you apply? So like if one guy's taunted and then the other guy did as well,
I'm not sure, but I think it's probably unique to the effect and not to the player. So
okay.
At least that would make sense to me. I'm not sure about group stuff there, but I know this is how stagger generally works, and maybe you can like max around this a bit.
Nice.
Yeah.
But I mean, staggering might actually be a real strategy for group play for sure.
Yeah, because I saw someone as well who had, so there's a node or like a point talent or something. It applies a slow every time you poison, right? I think it's on Druid. And so,
Oh, actually, I have a question. Yeah, a question about this too.
And so the thing is, that slow always, like, it kept ticking for the same amount nonstop. It never, like, it seemed as if there was, I don't know if, because the duration was pretty long, but it kept ticking every half second.
Yeah, I guess that it's some continuous effects, like just like have like a short duration, just keep ticking and keep adding a little bit to the stagger or something. Is that what I mean?
Yeah. It was like 0.5 per tick, but it never failed. It never didn't not tick.
Yeah, like I mean, basically dots generally tick like every half second in this game. So I guess if there's like a slow applied, through poison enemies, for example, in Druid, then yeah, I guess it just ticks every half second for like a tiny bit.
Nice.
Actually, I was wondering because what happens when you target is already slow, then you slow it? Does it consider you applying a CC or not? Because, like, for example, with for barbs, like, you have harm string that applies slows when you bleed, and I don't know how it works with the aspect of the umbral, the one that gives you resources
I
when
think
you
that
crowd
depends
control.
on the source exactly. Like I've tried the umbral as well with various things, and sometimes it's like just resource goes brr, and other times it's not working. So I think that depends on what you exactly use to apply it. Maybe
So
there's a
that's on
general
rogue,
rule.
right? Yeah, you had the experience on rogue, right? So okay.
I have tried it also like in the open beta with other classes and stuff. I know that it does work with something like Blizzard, for example. Like when you use Blizzard and the Umbral, it's like crazy. But then there's like other effects. Like I think, for example, tornadoes. I think you apply the slow once and then you get Umbral resource, and then it doesn't give you more basically after the first hit or so. So I think there are like it's like a case by case basis maybe. I don't know.
I'm guessing it should be if you applied a different source, then.
Yeah, I mean, if you apply
Like
a different CC, yeah.
magnitude.
I mean, I played a lot with Umbral on some of my
Oh,
builds.
not a different source, sorry. Like for example, you apply a 12% slow instead of a 10%, then you're gonna get the resource. But if it's 10% slow and you apply another 10% slow, maybe it doesn't work. I don't know.
Yeah, it might be that each slow with like each individual slow instance, so to say, actually gives you another Umbral proc, depending on if it's like a different power.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might work, but then you have to have two different slows, I guess. So I don't think there's anything that kind of like randomly gives you a different amount of slow, right? You need to have like an actual source of another slow or so.
Yeah, because on Barbie it should be easy to test. It's like if you don't get more than if you don't proc it more than once, then that's it. You proc it only once or multiple times.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about this one.
I'm excited.
Is that Loki?
Yeah, he's being very cuddly. I think he's like kind of like committed to my wife being gone because normally he only like drools really hard when she's petting him, but now he started drooling really hard when I'm petting him. So he's like, she's dead now.
So I think what he's trying to write build guides during this now. He's got work to do.
You still got stuff to do until.
Yeah,
we should probably let him go.
We can let him go.
Yeah, sure.
It's
gonna
fine.
write the Goblin Guide.
It was kind of like nice, like chilling here, like
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, but I'm also gonna I'm doing like very short streams like this entire week already. It's just I was like writing 12 hours a day or something, and now I was like start recording videos like 10 hours a day, and that's just how it goes right now. So
yeah.
And then we have to race. I'm not gonna do anything, I guess, until level 100 or until I rip. Let's see what happens first.
Yeah.
Yeah, best of luck.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun, man. I'm very excited for this. So I've been waiting for this for a long time. So
it's crazy that it's tomorrow.
Yes.
24 hours now.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
I mean, you guys have been comfortable in the PoE space and stuff. And for me, I was blasting the free, and I saw the 4 announcement and all that, and I kind of had my my sights set on the target, and now it's actually tomorrow, what the hell.
It's there, dude. Yeah.
Yes. So it's definitely I mean, it's not like I didn't have fun with D3 and all that, but suddenly there's D4. It's actually crazy.
It's gonna be crazy.
I mean, new game, fresh start, everything. It's always more exciting than skip playing the same game.
Yeah, I mean, of course, in 2 months you're also gonna have the big news of PoE 2 and all that, right? So it's gonna be pretty epic as well, I guess. But yeah, for now, I guess, there's like this really nice downtime as well for the PoE crowd. So this is like the perfect time, basically, with the release now of D4.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I really hope that long term they're gonna like have some nice back and forth basically with the seasons. That would be perfect. If D4 and PoE are like kind of like the big players, and they just like have their 3-month seasons. And
I hope they don't overlap.
Yeah, and then in between you have like maybe some other RPGs that also fit in somewhere. That'll be pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this is how it's gonna go, honestly. So PoE is usually on schedule, right? And if they also stay on schedule here with their 3 months plans, then it should work out pretty well.
Hope so. As long as we get at least 1 month of each game, and then people who prefer one will do a bit more.
Yeah, exactly.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Oh well, we'll just
let
you go, and we'll start planning.
Are you starting a Fury card session right now?
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, right now.
Yes.
Right now. Yes,
Hello?
right
Okay.
now.
Login.
Yes.
Go.
Yes, right now.
Okay.
Right
Well, then,
now.
good luck, guys, and have a good start tomorrow.
Thanks.
Excellent.
I'm very excited, maybe that in the next week or whatever, we can like maybe also do some stuff together on hardcore. I mean, it's gonna be all.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. For sure, dude. For sure.
Yeah, or PvP.
I was literally thinking that.
Okay, 1v1. Yeah, let's go. Okay, come at me. All right. Yeah, have a good one, guys.
Thank you so much, dude. Appreciate it.
Yeah, good luck. Yeah, bye-bye.
That was fun.
Alright, so yeah. Got a lot of the info we needed. Everybody also.
Renew. Right.
He called your build trashes, just saying.
Yeah, he was like, I don't know what to say this. I don't know what to say this is, but your build?
Nice build. Back to Necro. There it is.
You liked my build though, that I made. My original build that I made. Like that.
Your original build? Yeah, that's
Wait, what do you mean? I just did 10 minutes of theory crafting, and you were like, try fire.
And it showed. No, I'm just kidding.
Stop being mean.
Did you bait him still? Oh my god.
I just wanted to make. I wanted to make.
And then you throw him under the bus.
You
Wow.
you gotta push other people down to prop yourself up. This is how life works, Noogie. Okay.
True. That's why you're playing Sorg and I'm playing Druid.
Am I pushing? Wait, huh?
Wait, what?
Okay, dude.
Yeah, Steele was like, Ziz, can I watch you theory craft without telling you anything for Sork? And I was like, sure. And then he was like, "Ooh, that's really interesting. I like that." Like that's a really good idea, Ziz.
I mean, the immobilized status was good. All right?
No, the amulet thing.
The application was scuffed. That's all. Is what it is.
But you told me to try fire, so we would have a fireball sort.
Well, it sounds like we should both run fireball. That's what I got from that conversation. Is we should just both fireball because it's that OP.
I need a toilet break, so I'll be right back. I'm gonna cry.
When can you when can you swap the enchant? Where is that available?
What do you mean?
Can you do it on the fly? Can you do it in the dungeon?
In the middle of a boss fight, yeah.
So we literally just fireball until we get to the dungeon.
Yeah, then swap. It's just a click, right? I'm pretty sure it's just a click. Just click.
Yeah. Yeah. The enchants are very flexible.
Yeah, I'm swapping. Can't wait.
Yeah. You can respect too, like middle of the.
The only problem I have is I don't understand how we both run fireball, because if let's say we both run ice shards, then we both need the ice shards enchant. Then your second enchant is usually fire bolt. The reason for that is to apply fire burn. The reason you need to apply burn is it provides you with a damage multiplier thanks to one of the fire passives, but it also, this is the big thing, is like a significant portion of your damage reduction on a Sork is a stat called reduced damage taken from burning enemies, and you just lose that if you don't have burn. So unless one of you two, you don't apply a burn. That's not a thing, right, on Druid?
No, not that I know of.
Barb can, but we don't unique. We don't unique, but
whirlwind, right?
No, the upheaval unique.
Oh, right. Oh yeah.
Well, we want to be whirlwind.
But obviously,
yeah, fuck that. So the problem is one of us 100% needs to have some source of like passive burning, because otherwise unless we just go YOLO and maybe. Maybe I should have asked him.
I mean, early on, you probably don't. Do you need that early on? That's the thing. Like early, you probably don't need. You don't need the defense early on. World Tier 1, we don't care. You just go double fireball, and then you get that later when we actually need the defense.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like you can respec, so maybe we just commit to full fireball, get carried like crazy, but we just go full fireball.
I mean, of course, I don't see a reason not to do that.
If it does become sketch as fuck, we just have to go fire.
World Tier 1 should never be sketch. I don't expect World Tier 1 to ever be sketch.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I'm not worried about World Tier 1. I'm worried about Torment.
Yeah, but we're gonna. Yeah, okay. I mean, at that point, yeah, for sure.
Right.
But like the first part where we're just getting level 50, getting the basic renown, and
what is a stagger support, chat? Like, obviously, both of us are gonna run a lot of CC with Frost Nova, and we're gonna have maybe Frostburns if we get them. Right, we're gonna have a lot of CC from that. And then the boys are probably going to run stun and whatnot. Blizzard is amazing for stagger.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So you think maybe one of us we don't both play ice shards? Because then that changes things, because then only one of us needs ice. So hold up. Fireball plus the fireball, which is what I was saying for the burn, with Blizzard for stagger. So you think one of the socks could be a stagger support. I'll look into that when this gets back.
I mean, that's only useful for bosses, though.
Yeah.
And the CC, I mean.
Well,
so in my opinion, I think the Sorks need to lean into the thing that they're good at, which is clearing the entire fucking screen for us.
Well, then I like the double ice shard build, because the way that works, Noogie, is when you prop Frost Nova, you have an enchant that causes ice shards to automatically conjure to frozen enemies. And so essentially imagine just like 100 ice shards just going boom, right? And then when those enemies die with fireball enchant, they also pop. So it's just like stupid clear. But what's really interesting is we both have Frost Nova. So normally you're hard capped by the one Frost Nova, but now we have two.
Right.
So that's kind of my idea. That's why I was thinking we have at least one fireball, if not both of us. That's see, chat's saying it's overkill, but that's kind of what you want, maybe, right?
I don't know, man. It's people say overkill. I'm like clear is like so big, and the thing is like it's more like because then Karn can lean into full single target.
Well, no. Here's the beauty of it, right? Ice shards, quote from Kriparian, is the highest single target DPS skill for sorceress in theory, like outside of some crazy 5-head builds, but it is like mathematically
single target.
It's very strong, because it's like a shotgunning skill. And so the beauty of that is if you drop Shatter is like an AoE clearing keystone, but if we don't need that, if we just run the Fireball enchant, just run the Frost Nova Ice Shard enchant, the beauty of that is we can then run Avalanche, and Avalanche essentially allows us to just pump single target DPS into a boss. And if me and Ziz are both doing it, stop listening to Crip. I mean,
okay, there are a few things that Crip generally gets right with all of this, which is whenever there's like number crunching, he's generally on the money. Like, I'm pretty sure like the whole like bone spear stuff and all the things where he actually goes and number crunches, which he probably does with Ice Spear as well. You can assume that it's right.
Well, the reason it's good is because Blizzard doesn't understand shotgunning. That's why it's so strong.
Yeah, it's like the whole chain lightning thing as well. Like it's way too good for single target. Like the whole hitting multiple times.
I would trust Crip on that one.
Yeah. So I think me and Ziz can potentially. So I mean, it sounds like this is what's going to happen. We both run essentially a very similar build with very little differences. We're both ice shards essentially.
Steel's doing my homework.
Yeah. We synergize with the Frost Nova and the Fireballs. Or one of us runs the stagger support. But I need to look into that. I'm not I don't even know if that's going to be the play. I think the double ice shard thing solves clear and single target. We just need to not die. But we might is the problem. We literally might die. I'm worried about that.
Why are you going to die?
Because so if we don't have burn, we essentially lose something like 75% damage reduction. That's just gone. Keeping in mind, socks aren't like even with that, they're not like. If an enemy is burning, they deal 75% less damage to you. That is like how Sorks become tanky in endgame, in like Nightmare Sigils.
Where is that
I
an
wanted to
enchant?
be Meteor.
It is a stat on gear, which you itemize for. It's like a Sork specific one. And it is on the Paragon board. Like a lot of it is on the Paragon board. And so you just lose that if you don't burn.
Okay, but can't you then spec into something else?
No,
Like, then
not
that
really.
just opens up the option of playing like specking into something else.
It does, yes, it does. But I don't know. I'll have to do the math and see what you can replace it with. Like maybe maximum life.
Right.
I'll have to look into it. I'll have to look into it. It would like hard dropping all ignite. Yeah, chat's saying one fireball, but then you lose the ice shard, and the ice shard enchant that's like a big part of why the double frost nova ice shard thing works so well. So, yeah.
And as long as like if we can just keep not going like above where we're supposed to be in tiers, you know, maybe in group settings. I don't think the damage is gonna be if we have the good rotations on the roars and the cries and all that other stuff from Druid and Barb. Shouldn't you be fine if you're just like machine guns in the back?
Sorry, what was that? I'm just reading chat because chat is saying a lot of interesting things here. One, the ice shard enchant is good. It's not like it is good, chat. Trust me, it's very, very, very good. Two, regarding Arclash Meteor build, that was the other build. The problem is Meteor, because Meteor has such a long delay that it's not really going to be very good outside of. Yeah, it's just not reliable enough, chat.
We'll
like
also
a lot of
probably be able to see in the easier dungeons before we really need to be that optimized. What's actually going to be needed?
Okay, so tell me how the fireball enchant, like the burning enchant, how does that work exactly?
Okay, so this is the cool part, right? There's two reasons why you want to have.
I just need to. I need to know how you apply the burn.
Direct damage burns enemies.
Okay, and then as long as they're burning, it doesn't matter from which source. If any one of you do it,
yes,
you get damage reduction.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, so you could just have one guy run the burn.
Mm-hmm. That's what I said. That's what I said. But then Wodigio is saying you might want to consider doubling up on the fireball enchant. But that's why we had that discussion.
Right. It's just like if content gets okay. So if it comes to the point where content becomes too scary, we do that because both of you can just spec into the burn spec whenever you're running solo, and then one just swaps off it once we're in a group.
Yes,
because only one needs to have the burn in the group.
Yeah, we're aware.
That build you linked Hailstone does not fix it at all. By the way, I mean that is the original build, and that guy who made that build has changed his mind on Meteor pretty hard. Because if you watch the video and actually count how effective Meteor is, it's not. Unfortunately.
Which is why,
Yeah, the reason we wanted to run Meteor is because it can burn and because it also applies Immobilize. And Immobilize allows you to get... So there's a passive on Sork when enemies are burning, they take more crit damage. So it's a massive crit multiplier. But Immobilize is easiest to get from Meteor, but Meteor is kind of clunky to actually use in real gameplay. So just use Fireball. Exactly, that's what we're saying. That's all we're saying, chat. That's all we're saying. I think one of us needs to run Firebolt in endgame content is.
Yeah, well, we'll figure that out pretty fast.
Yeah. I mean, if we're literally taking no damage, you just click it off.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Nice.
Duo Sork is not a meta pick, it is preference. Because Necro... Well, Ziz was going to play Necro, but then he was just, like, literally depressed. And so it was a choice between... Well, Ziz can basically play... Well, I just really wanted to play Sork.
And Ziz doesn't want to play Necro. And Ziz doesn't want to play Necro because it's the number one every tier list out there, so,
Yeah. That's basically why. Like, Ziz could play Barb, he could play Rogue, he could play Druid. Like, he could play whatever he wants, but I think he wants to play Sork. And I think there is some synergy between dual Sork. I don't think it's cool.
It sounds fine.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think that mobility will be key for being fast for XP.
Sork is mobile enough. It's very mobile.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what, like, Necro is not fast enough for that, for instance. So you would bring a rogue instead, if anything.
Yes, I mean Woody Joe is saying dual rogue, but he just he's a rogue propaganda Andy.
I think that's very scary.
If he says if he says dual rogue, then one rogue probably.
No, I can totally see dual. I mean, it's just all about the synergies. If he, it's more like in hardcore, it's so scary.
Yeah, I mean,
to do.
There is
high risk gameplay.
Yeah, there is one alternative build that Hailstone recommended, and I think Crip was looking into this. Is a Flame Wall Meteor build because Flame Wall is strong. Yeah. Don't know if that's the play, but you can look. You can look into it a little bit and see if it like synergizes. Don't know if I don't think I trust it as much. I'm not a believer, but that does solve the burn because Flame Wall burns, and then you get the immobilized from the meteor because the firewall procs the meteor.
Do we have footage on of meteor as a skill? Just kind of want to see it.
The only thing we have, I'll link it in Ziz's chat. Oh, I'll link it here actually. What I'm saying, here, and I'll link it in Ziz's chat. So that's not meteor, but that procs meteors. So the way that build works is it's like think cock. So the arc clash is it attacks about 5 times a second, which procs ball lightnings and meteors. The meteor is more utility, and you'll see it behind every pack. Just go poo.
Yeah.
Poo. Pew at the very and you can even go at the end of the best demonstration of why Meteor is kind of bait is if you go to the end of the video where he kills the boss, you'll see the Meteor takes forever to fall on the boss, and when it does fall, the boss chunks. But you can see that delay. You can see the effect that delay has on even on a boss, which is where you think it would be good, because we're killing the bosses in like 5-10 seconds, and when you spend 3 seconds waiting for the Meteor to come down. You see the meteor falls and then chunk.
Is this guy not running the... Does Sorg not have the gem that gets Vaughn on hit for 3 seconds?
A gem?
Exploit. I think it's talking about exploit.
Yeah, exploit. What's it, Jewel?
A glyph. Oh. It's a glyph. It's a glyph.
I'll
a glyph. Yeah. And Bob has it.
Because like that, we need some... Like whoever hits everything needs to... Oh, really? They don't?
We have
someone to run it.
We do have Vaughn from Frost Nova, but generally speaking, Sorks have a little bit of trouble applying Vaughn. Apparently our Sork lift does not do what you're saying.
Oh, so you don't have the same. Aha. Okay, yeah, someone needs to run that one.
Yeah, it is very important that we have Vaughn.
Just like the exploit duel is insane.
We can't being crazy.
Yeah. So there is a Flame Wall Meteor build. So this is the alternative build that you could run Ziz, but I need to double check and see. I haven't looked into this build properly.
Which one?
Oh, someone just. I just linked it in chat. Like you can see in Discord as well.
Yeah, see it. Move it over. Okay, I will turn you into a carpet. Okay, that's it. 1 sec.
Looky messed up.
Yeah, definitely not seeing anything amazing of this meteor. I gotta say, everything dies before it falls.
Yeah, that is why I mean, from like talking to other people and whatnot, meteor is too slow. It's good enough, but it's too slow. And
it would be good if things just died slower, but
they will die slower at endgame, but we'll be 100 before then because like we're talking like T80 content. I just don't think it's going to be that good for what we're trying to do.
Actually, would he say how common the Unix are on the way to?
He said common. He didn't say like how many, but he said common.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, is it common? Like, I don't know. When you're 50, you start getting them, or that's the thing. Because they're very different. Like getting them level 80, like getting level 50, I think is very different.
He said he got.
Is 10. The meteor a dot on the ground?
10.
Good question. Definitely, I'm pretty sure it applies burn at least. I need to.
Ah, it is. Yeah, that's why. Because I was like waiting for a chunk. It's just a lot of DPS, right?
It does both.
I mean, it's big damage once it like stacks, but you have to have things standing entirely still on it. Which you can kind of do D4. So.
Yeah, someone linked to build. I'll link it in chat as well. So wait, Noogie, do you know what you're doing yet? Because all the druid guides say pulverize, but obviously we're not doing like a solo druid push. We're doing a group push. Do you know roughly what you're gonna do now?
I am not sure. I wanted to like see what builds we're doing together.
Right.
Well,
we know 2 builds for sure. We're doing Ice Shards and Whirlwind.
I mean, okay. The thing is, like,
definitely good. Landslide is really good. The thing is, like, Pulverize is really good for clear, but I don't think I need the clear. And so I'm not sure how good it is for single target. And then I'm thinking, well, what about if I do like trample, the landslide trample thing, and just lots of buffs? So I'll have like big stagger and big single target damage, and then all the buffs.
That sounds hot.
Because I really want to juice.
Do you have a source of immobilize too? If I'm not mistaken, from a glyph, right? There's a that's huge for Sorks because we get 70% more damage.
I'm not sure. Immobilize? Is that on glyph? Oh, okay. If I want to immobilize, I need to stack Lucky Hit, I think. That can generate a lot.
Yeah, because if you have a source of immobilize, it's like 70% more damage for the Sorks.
Yes. Well, I do have sources of it.
Then that is amazing. And that's also the whole discussion with Meteor. Because you know how I was the reason we were going to go Meteor.
For that? I mean, then I should just apply it for you.
Yep, that's what it's for. Yep. Because if you can apply that, fuck.
Can you immobilize a boss though? How does that work?
Probably not.
Does the boss get immobilized?
I think in order to apply effects like that, you have to stagger.
Yeah,
which is why like 4-man groups want to stagger. But I don't know enough. I mean, so Woody Joe reckons that it is possible to stagger quickly, but I don't know how quickly we can do it. Yo, chat, do you think if I have Frostburns and then we all have stagger sources, Khan has shouts?
I mean, we have war cries, I have my immobilize and all this stuff, and then knockbacks.
Do you think we can stagger the boss relatively quickly? Just once. We don't need to do it more than once. Just one stagger.
Because that was my idea, that we stagger the boss once and then the boss dies of all the effects.
I don't think staggering would be. I think they get staggered fast. It's
like chat's saying easily. So if that's the case, Noogie,
I think so because
you want to know why it's so OP?
Yes, I want to know why it's so OP.
Sorceresses have an aspect called Control. It is on an amulet 60% more damage per thing. And the beauty of it is they all count while staggered apparently. So what this means is it's 60% times 60% times 60%. So what is this?
That's big.
Like 1 times 1.6 times 1.6 times 1.6. It's 4 times damage multiplier when we stagger. Yeah. So if we can stagger, the boss will fucking die instantly. It will.
Yeah, I mean it's the same for Barbie. You have like huge multipliers for stun. If you get staggered, if they get stunned.
I think Noogie, we need to. Yeah, I think. I don't know about Yukon or Noogie, but your build should have some sort of like Giga Stagger. Because if we can just get one stagger off quickly.
You mean CC?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean all 3 shouts CC and you CC on every single hit.
Okay.
I mean the knockback from the shouts is a CC.
Okay, so me and Tiz, Frostnova, you shout, and then Noogie, if you have one more source of crowd control at all.
And you get slows also on Barb. You also slow targets. So it's like
you
have a slow.
I think that will stagger instantly, and the boss will just die instantly.
Yeah. You taunt, you knockback. It's like you have 3 knockback, 1 taunt, and a slow on every hit.
That's one of the videos. So there's 2 videos. But I think you're either playing Arc Clash, Flame Wall, or Ice Shard.
I'm done with anything.
What we were discussing while you were gone is essentially it sounds like you don't need to run Meteor because Noogie can be the one to immobilize. The reason we want wait, how familiar are you with like the Sork meta and stuff? I don't know how much I told you last night.
You told me a lot.
Right. Well, one of us needs to burn, which
Yeah.
means at end game, but that's not something we need to worry about at the beginning, just at end game.
Mhm.
So that just means one of us ditches Fireball enchant for Firebolt. Yep. And the reason we wanted to run Meteor so bad for you is because Crippling Flames has a massive damage multiplier against immobilized burning enemies.
Yeah.
But Noogie apparently has an easy way to apply it
okay.
when needed. And so I think he does immobilize, and we can. I mean, honestly, I think your role is relatively flexible as long as we're both running Frost Nova and Fireball.
Yeah, and if we
can
get the
both run
unique
it.
chest, we can think about doing that.
I'd be right back.
I mean, if it's flexible, then
I honestly think, yeah. Honestly, I think you could consider running this Arclash builds.
Yeah, I'd be done.
Yeah, because you can just adapt to whatever we end up needing.
I mean, whichever one looks the most appealing.
Yeah.
I think Ice Shards or Arclash will be able to be good. The advantage of Arclash, now the disadvantage is you have to be melee. That's bad. But the advantage is we have a source of stun, which is something we didn't have because we have freeze, stun, immobilize from Noogie, so we're missing stun. We probably do have stun somewhere, but like Arclash and lightning in general has a good ways to stun. So that would be the advantage. You would have Arclash for stun.
It's so crazy to me that we're playing D4 tomorrow.
Are you excited?
I'm actually.
I
so
think you guys can
excited.
tell. I'm really excited.
I'm really excited, but also like partly like denial kind of way. Like it doesn't feel real.
Wasn't it like not? It feels like it's been a while. Like I remember last time we were talking about Diablo 4. I was like, oh, it's kind of a ways off. But it's like already there.
Yeah, I think you should look into this Arclash build, eh?
Yeah, that's super cool. It's fun to play.
If you're not interested in Cock, you can just do the Ice Spear build, I think.
Yeah, seems very flexible. We'll see. We'll like figure it out on day one. Looks really good. What else do we need to plan?
The route and everything. I mean, there's other stuff I think.
Okay. So what we need to plan now is once our builds are 100% locked in. So this is why it's important to know your builds. You need to know two things. You need to know your leveling build and your endgame build. Once you've figured that out, the only thing you need to worry about is aspects from dungeons. Then you need to write down the dungeons, and then we need to do some cheesy bullshit. Apparently, where we can go full cheese and like literally split it and everything. But yeah, that should be the priority to. Like, for example, I'll need Ice Shard enchant, so I'll be doing that dungeon or getting someone to do that dungeon or however we want to do it. So knowing which dungeons we want to do, that's important. The reason you need the dungeon, the aspects as well, is because obviously you can't rely on getting a legendary drop because you need to upgrade it so quickly as we gear through the game. So it's really important that at all stages throughout the game, you need the codexes.
At a risk of doing too much cheese, can other people do the dungeons for us? Like if you and me need the air shard thing, we just invite somebody as they're about to kill the boss. Like, okay, thanks.
Yeah,
but that's gonna be just more annoying than anything. Like having to remake parties and stuff and inviting people.
Yeah,
that's not worth it.
From what Widigo was saying as well, well, it might be smart for some of us to split within the party.
Mm-hmm.
It might not be a mandatory thing for us to like scum it of other people because we don't really have a reliable Giga team. Like we don't have like a team B or some shit, right? I mean, maybe that's something you could look into. But even then, it's like Kam was saying, there's logistics in play, like waiting for them and stuff. Could be cringe.
I swear, I thought you said like Kam was saying.
What?
I thought you called Karn Kam.
What?
I didn't sleep enough.
Yeah, you did. I didn't hear anything like that.
I'm not interrupting Khan. Khan, speak. Go.
Other people heard it too.
What? I didn't say anything.
Yeah, Chet said I interrupted you and I didn't let you speak.
What? I didn't say anything. What? I was
tell them
stuff.
off. Yell at them, Khan.
Yeah. I didn't say shit. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Flooding me stuff. I'm checking. But okay, like, actually, we need to know like how much we're gonna play together, because if we play together a lot, I might play different builds for leveling.
Well, we should play together a lot now.
I figure we'll play together all the time.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm getting 100 and leaving. Yeah.
I'm not sure because I'm like
after
I'm
who cares?
I'm thinking. No, yeah. I mean, yeah, on the way to 100. So.
Like the only time we will be solo is if we're spreading out to do the dungeons for renown. And worst case scenario, let's say that, for example, that your build is super group oriented, then we'll just have that you and Nugi go together.
I mean, this is what can happen, right? If you split up to 4 dungeons that we need to do for renown, once one finishes, you teleport to the guy who's not done. They finish, teleport, done.
Bro.
And then you, like, that's how you can do it.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna level with Rand and Thorns, but I mean, if you're in a party and I don't really care about my clear, maybe I go Hammer. I'm not sure if Hammer is better than Rand, honestly. Problem is like Rand is too slow, it's a bleed, you have to wait 5 seconds for stuff to die.
I forgot what Woody though said. Was he saying that you just need to be in the party when someone completes a dungeon, or do you have to like zone into the dungeon at the end?
You don't even need. You just need to be in the party.
That's so cracked. What?
I hope they fix that. I hope that's not the case.
What? Brother.
I mean, we'll know you will know in Act 1 very fast. So
I will say, because we're putting eggs in basket, aka we're putting eggs inside Khan, we should probably focus on him getting his, like, if we are going to do any cheesy sort of like TPing strats, we should be focusing on getting Khan into like the dungeons.
Mm-hmm. I mean, this is what I was, so basically with the even if like let's say that splitting and like redoing parties and such is really bad. Like what we can do as well, like once we finish a dungeon, someone can teleport out early and go start the next one and be ready, and you just finish and teleport over.
Yeah, it'll definitely be us focusing on UConn getting like all that cheesy bullshit, I think.
Yeah.
Like if you get your reputation grind, sorry, what's renown grind? It's the same shit. But if you do your renown grind quicker than us, I think that's fine, because we can always spend half an hour to an hour catching up. As long as you're like in those nightmare dungeons, like campaign done, nightmare dungeons, blasting like ASAP basically.
Yeah.
So you might have to do a little bit of solo at level 50, Khan. Do you think you can with Whirlwind, or do you think it's?
I mean, that's the problem with Whirlwind. Like it takes. It depends on the legendary powers we get, because like I don't think you can. You need either. I know Whirlwind would be very comfortable with either one glyph or one legendary power, like the shot one. If you get the shot one, it's all good. And if you get otherwise, I need probably a glyph to be like Whirlwind for Whirlwind to blast.
I have no idea what Steel is saying. I'll explain annexes, because I'm obviously talking a little bit fast because I'm mostly just chatting with the boys.
You must be just excited. This is good.
Yeah. But the idea is simple, right? The renown grind is important because each region has 2 skill points you unlock. This is an account-wide buff, but it's important that we get this, both if in case we die, but also it's 2 skill points, right? It's 2 levels. It's like really, it's a lot of power. And this is important that you do this before Nightmare Dungeons. Well, this grind takes it's probably like, what, 5 hours or something? Maybe? Because you probably get a big boost while you're just passively doing dungeons and quests and region unlocking. I don't know. Well, however long it takes, the point is that it's important that it's done ASAP. Now, because of some cheese bullshit where you can essentially join someone else's party as they're finishing a dungeon, what we could have Khan do is efficiently, just him, not all of us, because getting 4 people into a 4-man group, you can't really, like let's say someone from chat, let's say we have Hailstone, has got a dungeon almost done that we haven't unlocked. Getting 4 of us into that party is impossible because it's a 4-man limit, but we could easily get just Khan in. And so we could prioritize getting Khan that renown bonus so that he is as ready as he can be, as quickly as he can be, doing endgame content for XP.
I like that.
Yeah, and then we can just sort of... Yeah, and then the rest of us can sort of slowly catch up while he has a bit of a head start. My concern is, if Khan isn't solo viable at level 50...
I mean, that's the thing. Like, obviously, we didn't play, so I can't know. But, like, it's very possible that my leveling build...
I heard level 55 was needed. So
I think it's, if you don't have glyphs and you don't have legendary powers, I think it's like 57. I don't see how 55 is changes
Right.
anything.
Right.
So you need a glyph or you need a legendary power.
Yeah.
I think either one of them fixes the problems.
Maybe you can ask Rob, like just
or level
go...
57, but like yeah, I don't think 55. You don't get anything at 55 that helps you play whirlwind. So.
Right. Utilizing chatters is kind of lame.
It is.
Absolutely, but we don't have to do that. But at the same time,
everything goes.
It's lame, but it's a race. You can't go like, oh, somebody else won, but we did it the honorable way. Like, it's a race. You do anything you can that isn't violating the rules.
If it was up to us, it would be SSF.
Yeah,
so.
we're like NA WoW races. Okay,
Yeah.
You just have a hit. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously, most of us, we always play SSF when the option's there. The option isn't there, so we're gonna do whatever it takes to win. Well, within reason. We're not gonna like do like illegal shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, I honestly don't know. That's the thing. Like, it's very possible that my leveling build will just be fine to play solo after 50. I think it will be. Like, I don't. It's like it's rand. Like, it's gonna be fine. Like, it's just not gonna blast, but it's gonna be fine. Right.
Yeah.
So.
And like Rudy said, like I am really, really keen in like a week or two after launch to do a SSF race. Like
yeah, that would be cool.
Like that'd be really, really fun.
Yeah. I'll definitely probably do a solo run in the next season, like season 1, assuming it doesn't completely fuck with Exarchon, which it might.
Probably
but
will.
We'll see. Yeah.
Or Horde, actually, it doesn't matter. Like,
yeah,
like
I would definitely play SSF for group fun if that was an option. I still think like RuneScape does group fun like better than any other game.
Yeah. Right. Might actually pop off in Chills, but if you want to take a look at those builds, there's some on Maxroll as well, and maybe you can just once you've decided, you can send it to us, and so we can take a look and understand what your build offers and everything. So it's just essentially up to you what you want to play. Nuki's still trying to theorycraft his build, but I think he has an idea of what he wants to do.
Nuki?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm not sure. Like the thing is, like I don't know how important it is to add in the polarize. That's like where I'm at right now. I don't know how important it is when you're grouping. Like how much of the damage? Because if I can just landslide trample, I feel like that's just better. Because I feel like we have enough AOE, and so essentially getting the quicker stacker and more single target will be better.
Yeah.
How do we apply Voln on single target?
Oh, that's easy. We have Frost Nova.
Yeah.
It's a 6-second Voln, and both me and Ziz will have it.
Okay, then I won't even bother with that.
Right.
Theory crafting is so rough for me because I love like adjusting based on like what I'm seeing.
You mean for what? For leveling or for in game?
Everything. Just like
Because I mean, in game we can't. Like you guess.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. It's just I feel like I'm just guessing.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have a choice. But I mean, it's gonna be most people, so it's fine.
Yeah.
I think it's just leveling that make sure it's good. Like I focus more on like what I'm gonna do early game, because like later on, like you get legendary powers, you get glyphs. It's a lot easier to make other things work.
Yeah.
Like what are we playing?
Fair. Also, I'd be down for a walk soon if you guys want.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah,
I'm down. I'm down.
Yeah. It's too hot, man. Holy shit! Oh fuck,
It's
dude,
so
my
warm.
window's open. No, my window's open and my lights are on. Oh, it's a fucking disaster.
Huh?
It's a fucking disaster, dude. Fucking spider's gonna get in and other shit.
Oh.
Dude, I saw a spider yesterday. It was huge, man. It was like the size of my thumb, I think.
I mean, yeah, that's a big spider.
What the fuck?
I wanted to see Steel's reaction.
What the fuck?
Nothing compared to Australia.
Fuck.
Oh, the early access is 23 hours, 24 minutes.
Yeah. I actually think we'll be able to play on launch. Like the betas were like pretty solid.
I think we will.
I hope so.
Maybe I should go Poison Creeper. I don't know. Maybe Polarize is just better than Poison Creeper. It just gives Immobilize to the entire screen.
Hmm.
I mean, people seem to like Poison Creeper, but they had an issue with uptime. But Poison Creeper did seem legit.
Yeah, I mean, it's not nice when solo. You want to swap it eventually because the cooldown is too long.
Yeah.
And you want to use it all the time. So you want to find something else. Like, I mean, you want eventually, if you're soloing, you want to do like Tornado or something, or like the Polarize plus all the other stuff. But I'm looking for like, I don't need to be the perfect solo build.
Man, with those thorns. God damn it.
We can go for a walk now if you guys want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, then I'm gonna give you all the real tips.
Yeah, then we can talk about the real strat that we
The real strats.
Yeah. The real juice.
I'll even make a video about our like final strat.
Nice.
Actually, yeah, yeah.
All right, you guys want to just walk over here then?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Bye, chat. Bye-bye.
All right, I'll see you guys soon. All right, we're gonna walk. We're gonna walk. Also, I'm excited to announce, guys, I'm excited to announce. Also, thank you so much for the subs during that. And Rich, thank you for the 67 months. Glad you could see you, dude. Maya, thank you for the 63 months. Good to see you too. I have a little bit of an announcement to make.
Subscribed for 63 months. Meow.
I made it onto the list. I'm in the gift sub program. Maybe I should have like a sub goal, like 10k subs blue hair or something. What's that? It's like you can gift 2 subs to a streamer and you get MTX. That's huge. Do 15k? Yeah, well, what I was thinking was, like every time I beat my previous record of subs, I'd dye my hair blue again. No hair? No, my skull is like misshapen. It wouldn't look nice. I like the gray silver better.
21 just resubscribed for 13 months. Black scissors, ing.
Headphone skull, yeah. Rainbow hair, I would never do that. Dye Loki blue? No. I will never do anything. He did say come.
Maybe that's something you could look into. But even then, it's like Khan was saying, there's logistics in play. like Khan was saying, there's
it hurts to laugh. Fuck.
it's like Khan was saying, there's logistics. Like Khan was saying.
I knew I didn't miss here. Ow. That's so good. New sub alert just dropped.
Like Khan was saying, there's like Khan was saying.
He's not even trying to say Karn. There's no like, it's not even the same syllables. He's just straight up saying come. Oh, he's not even, there's not even an attempt was made. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Oh man.
Saying this, like Khan was saying, there's logistics in play. maybe that's.
ACV instantly starts smiling as well.
Come say, come.
Fuck, that was good, dude. Oh man. Okay, I'm in pain. I'm gonna go for a walk. I might pop back on later. I'm not sure. It's either that or we'll see. But either way, I will be online tomorrow, hours before. I might be opening this tomorrow. Here, I don't know if I'm allowed to show this yet, but surely it won't be a problem because it's hype. Maybe they don't hate me after the Diablo Immortal videos after all. The key is in the lock. I have actually not opened it, so I actually don't know what's inside. What's in the box? I actually don't know. I managed to restrain myself. Might open it before we start tomorrow. It's a bomb? Oh my god. Can you imagine? Honestly, I've not opened. I was going to, but then I was like, it'd be more fun if I open it for the first time on stream. I actually, like, the only reason I put the key in is I didn't think the key actually worked because it looked blocked, and I was like, is this broken? I'm excited. Anyway, I'm gonna host Don the Crown, and I'll see you guys later. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoy the interview. Was it good? Did you guys enjoy the interview thing? Everybody learn a lot? Have fun? Yeah, we'll do squad streams. I'll see you guys later. I love you all. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really, really excited for the launch. And I'll see you tomorrow. Guys, try to die less than I do. Like, don't die IRL before the launch. That would be so sad.
Hey guys, Zizaran here.
Stay alive.
So I was literally just about to go to bed.
Hi, Zizaran here. Zizaran here. Zizaran here. Zizaran here with Zizaran here. Hi, Zizaran here. And welcome to my channel.